Hi there, name's Nico, and welcome back to my playthrough of Citizen Sleeper 2. So, in the last episode, we unfortunately figured out our way out is not actually our way out. RIP. But, we're going to Scatteryard. Now, the last place that we have not been to. So, I'm excited to go there, see what's up here. The winking sigils of the yards flash across the dark starscape of the belt, each one a siren light for crews in need for repair or eager for improvement. The scatter yards live up to their reputation. But Seraphin will not be drawn by the light. He guides the ship into an empty, ragged-looking yard, darker and more frame than plate. It looks rougher than any of the others. Seraphin, maybe you want to dock somewhere a little more welcoming? We aren't that hard up, Bliss turns to you. Or are we worse off than I thought, Sleeper? Best shipwrights rarely have the brightest signs, though you know that, Bliss. Seraphin reaches up and flicks a set of switches across his head. Marco's the best in the scatter yards. The best, or just the best you know? Bliss gives him a skeptical look. You'll see. Seraphin smiles widely, shutting off the main console and unclipping from the pilot's seat. We're safe here, Seraphin turns to you. No need to run from Lane for a while. You'll never find us in Marco's yard. It'll be nice to have a break from running. Junie floats at the back of the cockpit. I hear the scatter yards have some good data analysis terminals on the hub. Junie glances at you, if you can spare me. Nia glides into the cockpit. We hear Femi loves this place. She glances at you with a smile. All these grumpy spacers waiting on repairs. I think it fits his temperament. You follow Seraphin as he glides eagerly to the airlock. You and Bliss exchange glances. Both of you are used to Seraphin's headstrong moments, yet you still can't help but feel that now familiar pull of someone else's problem. Marco. Seraphin opens his arms to the figure coming through the cycling airlock. Finn. Marco floats through the doorway, a crooked smile across his pale face, his sharp eyes glinting in the rig's bright work light. The two embrace in more of a chest bump than a hug, Seraphin spinning with the momentum of the impact to end with his arm across Marco's shoulder, the two side by side grinning. You notice Marco's eyes quickly falling on you, a slight narrowing suggesting he has immediate thoughts about your presence. So, this is who you're flying with now, Finn? Marco shoots you a wink, his expression shifting to conceal his previous curiosity or concern. Bliss, they introduce themselves curtly. You two used to be on a crew together, I assume? Me and Finn? No, we're just drinking buddies. Marco's response provokes a laugh from Seraphin, some kind of joke you can't quite catch the tone of. Marco turns his attention to you. And a sleeper, he smiles. My condolences. The damn crime what those corporations do to you. At least you're out, huh? I'll just say I appreciate the solidarity. Of course, Marco taps a fist to his chest and a gesture that seems both genuine and mocking in the same instant. Marco turns back to Seraphin. It's been too long, Finn. Not flying with old Betty anymore. You immediately see the reaction in Seraphin, his entire being tightening without anything more than a shudder to signify it. No, that's long done. Marco shrugs. That's the way of the belt. He shakes Seraphin by the shoulder. Come on, then. Enough floating around in this drafty old thing. Let's get a drink. Marco turns his attention to you. Feel free to make yourself at home in the yard. Hell, take a little fuel. I've got loads of the stuff, and it's been quiet for more than a few cycles. Happy to spare some for a friend. He steers Seraphin down the docking tunnel, waving a hand to you and calling back. I'll have him home in a cycle or two. His laughter echoes down the tunnel as they leave. Bliss turns to you. I want to go dig around the other yards for some components that the rig could do with. They smile. You got things to do? You think of Cadet and wonder if she found her way here to the scatter yards to extract the data on the Hexport drive. The only way to know would be to find her. Seraphin's words echo in your mind, his insistence that the only way to escape Lane is to beat him on his home turf. With Darkseid just sunward of the scatter yards, this may be the perfect platform from which to attempt such a wild and dangerous plan. Sleeper, Bliss brings you out of your thoughts. I hate it when you do that. Just take care out there, okay? They drift off down the docking yard, leaving you in the airlock. Seems the next step is up to you. Okay. Marco's yard. Drinking buddies. Sarah and Marco are off in some scattered yards dive, catching up. You hope Marco returns your pilot in working order. The rig. Okay, there's a transit hub. I don't know how often I have to feed the cat, by the way, but we'll just do that. Anyways, the transit hub. Follow the markers. On every wall of the hub, there are scrawled alphanumeric markers that act as signs for the ship fitters, if you can understand them. Shop talk. There's no faster way to get to know ship fitters than to chat about their complex work. It does require a certain knowledge base, though. I actually have Intuit +2 and Engineer +2, so I can do either. Engineer skill expert. There we go. Hey, you hear the voice echoing through the public passage. Wait up. I am glad to see you. Cadet sweeps her hair out of her eyes and then glances up and down the corridor. This is not my kind of station. Cadet rolls straight into her complaints. All the yards have their own water and facilities. Even the hub here is not fit for general use. There's a couple of guest houses, but you would not believe the state of them with all the spacers that stop here for shore leave. She shudders. You don't want to know. Hi, Cadet. Hi, yeah, she blinks at you. Are you even listening? So get this. Cadet locks her fingers together and stretches her arms. That girl of mine I said could crack anything, she's gone. Didn't even leave a note. Ran to Darkside, maybe? Not that I'd blame her given the state of this place. She looked sideways at the grumpy walls. She left her workshop empty though, so I slipped in. That's where I've been napping. I've been doing my best all these cycles to crack that drive, but, she sighs, I'm a spindlejack, not a data scrapper. Which is why I'm happy to see you, she takes a breath. Telling you, I have not spoken to anyone in a long time. She runs a hand through her hair. Okay. Also, I looked at the beginning, when I clicked the save, when I said like the number was like 84 last time, that was how many cycles. So we're actually at 122 cycles now. So, yeah, it's been a while since we've seen her. I don't know how long it's a cycle. If a cycle's like a day, I'm assuming. I'm just gonna approximate, okay? It could be more, it could be less. But like 122 days is 4 months. Probably haven't seen her in like 3 months, right? I'm not okay. How about that they literally put on you? It doesn't seem to stretch too far out of the spindle, but I've been careful. Glances around, hence the not talking to anyone in H's bit. Look, I'm in over my head here. Cadet looks away, annoyed at herself. Well, you come down to the workshop. We put our heads together, see what we can pull out. I just know there's some nasty shit on that drive. Stuff we're getting out into the light. Cadet sets her jaw. Nasty enough for them to ruin my life over. Sure, I'll be there. Cadet smiles for a moment and then it is gone. Alright then. The workshop is in the cluster, the tech cluster. You'll see it, she sighs. Now, I've got to go find something to eat that isn't dried. She turns and disappears back down the passageway. Okay, here we are. Oh, there's the workshop. The spent. Save, buy a meal. I don't need to buy a meal right now. The fabrication bay. Pay bay usage fee. The engine component fabricator in the hub are for ship fitters only, so they ask for a one-time fee to disavoid casual use. Okay, now what? What is this? Build engine components. Oh. Neutral outcome. Takes time until they build engine components. Any errors will impact the outcome. Component errors. The more errors component has in instruction, less valuable will be. Enough errors and it's worthless. Interesting. Okay, yard supply. Buy fuel. Build supplies. Cadet workshop. Okay, so this is what we gotta do. Identify passcodes. If you can work out through guesswork and analysis what the passcodes are, you can access the drive. Breaking encryption. Breaking the encryption directly takes skill, but is the most direct route to data. Okay, let's rig. Let's have a end cycle. I'm just curious about this. If I do, this is guaranteed positive. Will I get component error? Oh, you need 2 of these to get. Okay, to build an engine component. Okay. Wait, there's an error? Wait, I don't have an engine component though. Well, we'll do this instead. Where's our dice rolls are bad today? Positive, positive. Actually, 3 positives. Wow. You high rolled. Wow, 4. One of them was guaranteed to be positive. We got 3 positives in a row, though. Okay. Yunjin finds you in a quiet corner of the rig. I want to say something. He has been uncharacteristically quiet since your journey to the Aphelion Path's resting place, and even now there's seriousness to him you do not recognize. I need to thank you. His eyes look dark, and it is clear he hasn't been sleeping. I appreciate what you did on that rock. You pulled me back from something I wouldn't have come back from on my own. That drive, that ship, I want to say they possessed me, drove me to it. He looks away. That would be an excuse. I was the one who chose to pursue them at all costs, he frowns. The blame lies with me. I mean, I do think it is on you. You're right. He nods. I'm not trying to hide it from it. The way you treat me, it makes me believe something. His brow knits, his own words irritating him. But I'm not sure what it is. And I'm not much of a believer. Yunjin looks down. You can see he is fighting with himself. This crew, this ship. Yunjin pauses, choosing his words. I put it at risk. I will not make that mistake again. He meets your eye. That is what I wanted to say. As Yunjin explains, you see a little weight rise off his shoulders. He stands a little taller, some of his swagger returning. You don't know what the extent of his past. His actions have only been hinted at. But something in this belief in the future he's just professed endears you to him. He takes a deep breath. I don't like to owe people. He pats you on the shoulder. But for you, I will make an exception. With that, he nods and turns away, gliding back through the ship and out of sight. As you watch him go, you think of Vesna, of the Singers, of Conway, everything that swirled around that fraction drive like a storm. There is something dark and dangerous in an object like that, one that subsumes lives into itself, one whose gravitational pull is strong and often terminal. Yunjin has, with your help, wrestled himself free of that pull, and you are glad of it. But you both have paid a price, what neither of you is likely to forget. Drive failed. What the hell does that mean? Sleeper, Seraphine's voice echoes through the ship. You in here? You glide down to the airlock, unsure of what state you are about to find your pilot in. Seraphine floats in the airlock, his arms above his head, gripping... what is it? Oh, drive failed. This is a drive. I mean, drive failed. Anyways, Seraphine floats in the airlock, his arms above his head, gripping the lip of the interior door to hold himself in place. Come on, we need to talk. There's a straight-faced seriousness to Seraphine you weren't expecting, especially considering that he spent the past 2 cycles with Merkel. You in trouble already? Seraphine shakes his head. I'm not messing around, just come. Seraphin leads you across the bridge, but rather than turn towards the automated shuttle bay that connects Marco's yard to the rest of the assembly, he leads you deeper into the guts of the yard itself. As he does, he begins to speak. I told Marco about Lane, about our escape, about everything. Seraphin ducks under a large pipe. He gets it. He worked in Darkside. You trust him? I do. He looks back over his shoulder at you, and I would hope you trust me by now too. I didn't say I didn't trust you, I was just saying, if you trust him. If you don't trust him, if you trust him, I'll trust him, okay? That's just how it is. Comes to a sealed door and hammers an entry code. Somewhere, machines start whirling. Remember Wellspring after everything what I said? Seraphin turns to face you. About taking Lane on, exactly that. Seraphin meets your eye. The door suddenly squeals as the ancient motors kick in and drag it across its corroded tracks. It reveals a large half-lit chamber, its farthest parts masked with layers of scaffolding and frames so it is hard to tell where the room actually ends. At the center, in a pool of warm light, Marco floats beside a terminal screen. Sleeper, he touches his brow in a mock salute as you enter. Been busy plotting? Seraphin shoots you a look. Just hear Marco out, alright? You come on, that's what I'm asking. You hear the door shut. You hear the door you entered through screech shut, and then a sudden silence descends. Sorry to drag you out here, Sleeper, but I really can't be overheard on this one. He sighs. We're close to Darkside here, and Utsubo have ambitions, shall we say, in the scatter yards. Finn told me the whole story, and I'm sorry for your troubles. He clasps his hands together. You have done well to evade Lane this far, but you must understand he's also been distracted. Since Hexport won up, well, Darkside has been in crisis, and the war was the pressure shift that allowed Utsubo to build its strength. Hexport was the breach to blow it wide open. Marco springs his hands apart. Hexport's their justification for opposing total control in the name of protection. Marco glances away in a dark corner of the room. And if my hunch is right, it's how they will extend their reach to the scatter yards. So where's this going? Marco laughs and looks at Seraphin. Straight to the business, this one. I'm done running, Sleeper. Seraphin cuts in. I hate looking over my shoulder every cycle. I hate the nightmares, the fear. I want to face this head on, for better or worse. He looks away, scowling. I won't be controlled by Lane, and this is our chance to break that control. Lane is hunting you, Sleeper, which means he is not in Darkside. Marco raises an eyebrow. This is good for you. There are people in Darkside resisting Utsubo, though I hear it is not going well for them. If we can find them, find out what they need, there's a chance here. Marco pauses, and you get the feeling he is assessing your reaction. Taking action is a choice right now, Sleeper, but soon it won't be. During glances Marco. Not if Marco is telling me not if what Marco is telling me is true. Let's do it on our own terms. I don't know. I don't like. What do we do? Like, are we gonna try? Like, are we gonna kill him? Like, what? If we, I don't know what. They said take him on. Like, what do we mean? Are we gonna kill Lane? That's what you want to do? Okay. So what do you need to do? Everyone meets your eyes with conviction. Thank you, Sleeper. I know we can do this. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Marco interrupts. I'll need some time to work this out. If you two want to go the dark side, there's no way you can take that stolen rig. It was a big enough risk just to bring it here. He glances at Seraphin, and you get the feeling he has already been reprimanded for this. So I need to find you a way in and a way out. Marco rubs his hands together. I know it can be done. Marco turns to you. I recommend you take the next 2 cycles to prepare. Scatter yards are a good place to both spend and make cryo, depending on what you need. And Finn, Marco puts a hand on his friend's shoulder. Try to stay cool. This will be recon only. Chance to see what's happening on Darkside and make your connections. It's not the time for grand gestures. Seraphin nods. Thank you, Marco. He glances at you. We'll keep things quiet until you are ready. You and Seraphin leave the hidden bay, the door screeching open to allow you to exit. When it seals once more, Seraphin turns to you. This is our chance to shift things, Sleeper. Let's keep our heads in the game. Okay, I'll start preparing. Seraphin nods. Alright, man. I said I'll trust them. If Seraphin trusts them, I'll trust them, okay? I'm not going to question the plan, and I already agreed that I would do the plan, so... We should give Marco some time. I've got a few things I want to take care of in the scatter yards, and I want to get a message to Tala. I know she would want to hear from me before he trails off. Oh, he thinks he's going to die? Uh-oh. Let's make sure we are ready. Keep your head up, sleeper. I see you on the rig. And with that, Seraphim kicks off down the passage on his way to the shuttle dock. Watch him go, unsure if you're impressed or concerned about his headstrong nature. Either way, things are in motion. The only thing you can do now is give yourself the best chance of success. Okay. Kitty's fed. New location discovered. Oh, Marco's yard. 2 cycles he needs. Goddamn, I need to finish this mission then quickly. Okay, there we go. Cadet catches your eye as you look over at her. What is it? She takes the end of the metal chopstick she had been chewing on out of her mouth. Got something? Cadet has given up already for the cycle. And while you're cracking the drive's complex encryption on her friend's workstation, she had been floating in the middle of the small workshop, picking bits of scrap off the shelving on the wall. Now she spins in the air and pushes off from the ceiling, spinning as she glides so she lands perfectly behind you, leaning over the terminal screen. As she does, you hit a key, executing the file decryption process. Slick, she goes to ruffle your hair, but you don't have any. Instead, she just wobbles your head playfully. What we got? With Cadet hanging over your shoulder, you try to concentrate on the data spooling across the screen. The first thing that catches your eye is the steady repetition of CWEXT, an identifier for Conway Extractions, a behemoth conglomerate currently wagering a corporate war with Senate stat in the inner system. Why Conway? What is this data? You stop the scroll, looking for details. Hit that thing. Cadet pokes the screen, making it wobbly. You dutifully click. Comment expands in the code. A note left by someone mentions tests and protocols, discusses reverse engineering and carrier signals. You chose it and find you close it and find another. Drone latency, another. Security bypass, one more. Kill switch. It takes a long time. You and Cadet squinting into the blue screen build up a picture of what you are looking at. When you are done, both of you sit back, your eyes sore and your minds clogged with technical terminology. Shit, Cadet shakes her head. They were dissecting it live. She is referring to the Conway drone mine the stream of data was scraped from. Huge volumes of internal data, of volumes of control systems, protocols, and passphrases. The kind of data you imagined was closely guarded by Conway, kept secret to allow the smooth operation of his drones. This thing... it's some kind of general or manager, right? Giving orders out to all the little drones that work for it. Cadet squints. I always thought Conway controlled its drones remotely with people, those zero latency point interfaces you hear about. From what you know, Cadet is right. Conway is known for their novel solution to the scale and logistical problems of the surrogate systems. Extraction and security drone ships, piloted from light years away with proprietary comms interface. A drone mine, what this code is scrapped from, could be a kind of distributor, a relay for the local drones that links to a closely guarded transmitter receiver. This data suggests otherwise. It's just an active cognitive process, far more complex than any protocol you have heard of. A thinking machine. Look, Cadet jabs at the screen again. Is that? She squints. You see a line in the data stream that reads simply, stop, get out, stop, get out, stop, get out, stop, get out. How do they do this? Cadet leans back. Everyone knows captured Conway drones purge themselves. Everything else is in the couple of square clicks around them when captured. You rip the control core out of one. Sure, you can disassemble it, but the system will be gone. This one was still running when they took it apart. It should have gone up like a tactical nuke the moment they started. She stopped suddenly. Fate of Hexport jumping into her mind. Is that what happened? How do they get all this and get it all on a drive? Silence fills the workshop. You look back to the screen, unsure of the answers to Cadet's questions. Feel a deep chill, one that you know has nothing to do with the temperature of the workshop. Who the hell was doing this? Cadet scans the code once more. Work out who. I have 100% positive, so we'll know. You back over the data, nothing. But the absence of a trail tells you almost as much as an obvious one would. The data is scrubbed scrubbed clean, not a mention of who was scraping it. That means professional. A professional with access to tools and protocols way beyond what you'd usually see in the Starward Belt. An outsider then. Which outsider would benefit most from knowing the control protocols of Conway drones? Who would risk an entire belt station to find them? It's a simple answer. Occam's razor. Senate did this. You said it out loud and it sounds right. Yeah, that'd be my first guess too, Cadet yawns, but it's still a guess. We've been at this too long, Cadet sighs. I'm cooked. She pushes away from the terminal and floats in the room, stretching out her aching back. We know they had this drone mine on Hexport. That's where they were cutting it, scraping it. We know something happened and Hexport went up. She sketches her thoughts out in the air with hand gestures as she summarizes. The data got out on that drive, I'm assuming, before the explosion, then got to the far spindle. Someone tried to courier it using me, but the receiver wasn't there. She turns and looks at you, which is when they ruined my life and my job trying to get it back. This data's valuable, that's for sure. Imagine taking control of all those drones, turning them away or towards any target you wanted. He floats over to the drive and picks it up. This thing is the only way to buy my life back, and that frowns at it. The way I see it, we have to expose these fools so they leave me be, or give them the data so they piss off forever. We can't give them this. Not if we don't know who they are, she laughs half-heartedly, but yeah, we can't. All the roads lead in one direction, I'm afraid. She spins the drive in the air, back home. Export. If there's anything to confirm or deny this data, if there's anything to connect it to, if there's anything left at all, it'll be in the remains of that station. I had a feeling it might come to this, so I made some inquiries when I first got here. The word is that the place is irradiated to hell, but I've also heard the radiation is fading, and it's not like half the belt isn't glowing anyway, she shrugs grimly. With suits, we'd have maybe a few cycles before it starts to leak through. Problem is getting in. She puts the drive back on the desk magnetic surface. Far spindle is a no. Not only do I not want to get picked up there, but the debris is denser on that side. No safe way in. Dark side is the best bet, she shakes her head. I heard you have some trouble waiting for you. What if I deal the trouble? Then we have a clear shot at it, she shrugs. Easier said than done. This place has one hell of a stowaway spot, shielded from everything. Plus the scatter yards are no one's territory. I wanted to leave the drive here. She squints at you. No peeking. But me, I want to keep moving. But I was thinking I can make myself useful till you shake that trouble and dark side, she smiles. Work for room and board and all that. You want to come with me? Yeah, she smiles, professionally speaking. What do you say? She folds her arms. You know I'm tough. I can do plenty besides ride an air bike. Yeah, you can come. That's the answer I was looking for. Cadet scans the workshop. Not enough of space or bathrooms for a lifetime. I'll make myself at home on your rig, and she picks up the drive and tucks it in a pocket. Cadet glances away at the racks on the wall, and you follow her eyes to spot her air bike where it is hanging, carefully secured and pristinely kept. Cadet gives you a hard look. You better have room for my bike. For how many people on our ship now? We have Cadet Cadet for your career achievement, the Spindle Jack. So we have Cadet, Junie, Nia, Yunjin, Bliss. I think we have 5 people who recruited. Okay, so we have okay, so these are both major missions. So we have to get back to Dark Side and we have to wait for Marco. So I guess I will buy fuel and I'll buy more supplies. And then nope. And I will eat. Oh. Sura's yard. What is this? Sura's eyes. Sura watches his yard carefully, keeping an eye on all the work that goes on here. He's not easily impressed. And we'll just do this. Junior shipfitter. As a low-level shipfitter, you are expected to do the hardest and most tedious welds to show your worth to Surya. New workers at Surya Yard are given the toughest job. As a mate, you are expected to keep the fitter supplied with confidence and speed. Got 12 cryo for it. Okay, well, I guess we'll do that. That looks like it's probably like a mission, right? We get 9 shit. Okay, please be positive. Nice. That's some quality work you've been doing. The voice booms through the locker room after your shift. Why are you doing grunt work, sleeper? You turn to see a large man with a metal arm and bright patterned clothes. You spent enough time here to immediately know this is Surya, owner of the yard and well-known shipfitter. Well, Surya wipes his one metallic hand on cloth, polishing its painted surface. What do you have to say for yourself? You know what? No, I wanted to meet you. Surya smiles. Well, I'm here, aren't I? I know a lot of what happens in the Scatter Yard, sleeper. What I don't know, people tell me. He smiles proudly. And I know you have a ship. Someone who has a ship, especially a ship like yours, should not be looking around my workers' tools. Surya flexes his artificial arm, inspecting it. That, to a person like me, is a waste. Ships cost quite to run, true. All the more reason to really use them, though, isn't it? I want to take a look at your ship, sleeper. Surya goes back to working on the hand. Call it professional curiosity. It's a bit drab. Surya looks up and meets your eye. An old Solheim brig, still in corporate colors, shakes his head. No. I feel like that's your problem. People want a crew that looks the part. An outfit with an outfit. He grins. Look at my yard. I grew it from a chunk of scrap by showing people I was professional. I had standards. I made Surya's yard recognizable. Your problem is you are working as a shipfitter's mate when you should be imagining much more for yourself and your crew. Surya smiles. And so that got me thinking. I want to help you to clean up the old rig, paint it up, give it some color. He tucks the cloth in his tool belt. How does that sound? Oh, I love that. Perfect, Surya booms. Thing is, you don't just slap some paint on an old rig like that. And for this to work, you need its look to reflect your crew, your style. So while I'm happy to do the painting with my team, I'll need to go find some inspiration. Surya looks away towards the locker's room lone window. Luckily, the belt is full of it, full of pattern and texture and style. There's nothing uniform about this place, and it's the better for it. Surya looks back at you. You need to go out there, find some views, some sights, and make your own design. Here. He proudly pulls a small slate from his toolbox. I have a 64 color screen. I fixed it myself. You take and inspect the slate, made from mismatched pieces, but elegantly slow. See what you find to inspire you, he smiles. Then come and see me again. Where should I go? Barshman will be a good place to start. Colorful, bright place, I think. That rig is drab enough. I can see what you're thinking. You're thinking, what's in this for me financially? Surya eyes you carefully. How does this make you any chits? That's the other part of the proposal. When you take this voyage around the belt, you can do something for me and get paid. Free of charge, I'll paint your rig with the look and name of my yard here, Surya's yard. It commands respect, he nods sagely. You take that name to the rest of the belt, spread it, represent it, and on your travels, spread it to other crews. For that, I'll pay 300 cryo. Ooh, that's a lot. It's usually beneficial. Learn better doing this than any yard work, and I get increased custom. What's not to like? Surya waits your response calmly, but you feel his expectant eyes on you. Now it's a deal. Wonderful, Surya beams. I'll send my team over immediately. By the time you return to your rig, they should be done. Reaches in his hands. Here, 150 cryo now. He takes out a handful of high-value chits, and another 150 when we return with those designs. I'll take it, that's fine. He's at 300. He doesn't want to give it right now because we haven't fulfilled the deal fully. I understand. Don't pay up in full if you get scammed. Take the cryo. Of course, I'll give you the other half on your return with those designs. He smiles apologetically. I need to be sure you don't repaint the ship before your pilgrimage is done. It's only fair. Keep the slate. He waves an arm at you and put it away. Go find inspiration. Bring me those designs. I don't want to see you back in the shipyard. You need to be out there. Surya smiles. It was a pleasure. And before you can say anything else, he is gone. Time to find out what his crew has done to your rig. Oh shit. Rig paint removal. The painters can return your rig to its old paint, but they'll pay them extra to convince them. Surya won't be happy. Well, that's what memory looks like. Okay, so we have 5 people. Okay, you guys can't see it. There, look, there. I was right. There's 5. Nia, Cadet, Junie, Yunjin, Bliss. Okay, okay. 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 It might seem weird, but we're gonna go travel. Because this is the only... We have to go to Hexport. But we gotta go across the belt. So, let this... Go. Pilot unavailable. Seraphim's not ready to leave the current location. You can't travel. Oh shit, I can't travel. Well, I guess not. We will not be doing that. This one's kind of a shit dice they use, but we have 600 cryo. Hopefully it's enough for export, well, dark side. You find Seraphim and Marco waiting for you in the hidden room where you met before. They're chatting quietly, their shadows cast across the scaffolding by a small lamp. Sleeper, Marco's got something good. He nods to Marco. Tell them. Marco gives you a nod as you look at him. His mood quiet. What is this? Conspiratorial. I don't know if it's as good as Finn thinks, but it is an opening. I heard back from a friend of mine who runs a yard on the edge of the cluster, a fair way out from here. Smart guy. He makes a tidy profit off selling fuel to freight crews on their way into Darkside. Here comes the Darkside dockyard fuel prices, which include a cut for Utsubo, so they stop off at his place to fill it before heading in. Marco smiles. Clearly this is his kind of business. This guy, he owes me a favor, and I'm gonna call it in. He can get a few of us onto a freight crew, swap us out from the usual who stay at his place, and let him have a few drinks on him. The crew, meaning us, will deliver the freight, complete with a stopover for cargo loading in. Dark side, he smiles, which is when you do what you need to do. We'll have as long as we need, but the more time we spend there, the more likely they'll discover us. Marco looks at you. We'll keep our heads down, sleep, and eat on the freighter. Then, once we're done and the freighter's loaded, we'll take it on out again, return to my friend's yard, and swap the crews back. He shrugs, emphasizing the simplicity of the plan. No one will ever know we were there. See, it's good, Seraphim nods. It'll work right. Where they check the crew list? What? On the manifest? Not gonna happen. And who's to say you aren't the names on that list? This is the belt. Everyone looks concerned. It's gonna be tight, but I reckon you can get what you need in time. Make some connections with whoever is resisting Utsubo. Get an idea of their operation. Look for weaknesses. They'll have to be quiet, Finn. Marco gives you both a warning look. No noise, no attention. This can quickly become a one-way ticket. Seraphim turns to you. Think you can handle that? We can get it done. Seraphim and Marco exchange concerned glances. What aren't they telling you? There's one more thing, Sleeper. Seraphim looks down. Someone needs to stay with the rig. Someone who can pilot it if there's any intention at the yard. He meets your eye. It has to be like this. I'm sorry. I have to go alone? No. I'll be going with you. Marco puts a reassuring hand on your shoulder. I know, Darkside. I'll guide you all the way in and all the way out. There'll be room for one more on the crew. I'll leave who that is to you, but let me give you some advice. He leans in closer. You better be sure you really trust anyone you take on this. Look between the two of you. Just you and Marco might be the safer option. The fewer people, the less likely it is to give yourselves away. But then, if Marco doesn't keep up his end of the bargain, you want the backup you can get. The other problem is that we have to go right away. You see the rising tension in Marco's face. The freighters are riding this cycle. Seraphim turns to you. I'm sorry I can't come, Sleeper, but we need to do this now. Okay, doesn't seem like I have a choice, but yeah, Seraphim shakes his head. I don't think you do. I'll be ready whenever you need. Just give me the word and we'll head out to my friend's yard. Marco sighs. We keep the sight and nothing needs to go wrong. His words echo in your mind as you leave the hidden room, a creeping doubt settling itself in the pit of your stomach. This is it. Time to go back to dark side. Oh shit. Let's feed the cat before we go. Let's get... Let's get some supplies. Okay. Oh, so it's scrap component. I thought you'd get engine component. Oh well. Okay, let's okay. Build travel block. Okay, that's fine, it's fine. So we just build one more of these, might as well. And then we'll travel, because we re-roll dice when we travel. There we go. Okay. Now let us go. Dark side recon. Okay, so he said we can go by ourselves or we can take someone with us, but we should really trust them. Let me just see what the quests we have are. Should we take a cadet with us? Might want to take a cadet with us. Because we need to investigate Hexport. Okay, let's go. Do I have to try? Hopefully she's not a rat. We don't really know her that well. But consider she's like showing us like this information, I don't think she's gonna do anything. Let's go. The freighter hangs over the ragged shipyard as the rig idles in the dock. Your eyes trace with the fuel lines snaking up to its underside, where they disappear into the dark. A chirp from the pilot's console breaks the silence. Marco's signal. This is it, sleeper. Seraphin settles back from the controls of the rig. He looks over his shoulder at you. You better get going. Well, don't get too bored. I'll do my best, Seraphin smirks. Hope they have something to drink in the yard. You glide towards the back of the cockpit. Seraphin clears his throat. Just don't do anything reckless, alright? As you float down the corridor towards the airlock, Marco comes to meet you, his usual gear swapped out for a plain set of overalls that you imagine are borrowed from the freighter crew. Ready to go, sleeper? The crew we're replacing are already in the yard, so the sooner we get on board the better. He gives you a look. How you feeling? I'm still a little bit anxious about it, a little concerned. Fair, but no need to be. This is the simple part. He pats you on the shoulder as you cross into the airlock. The airlock cycles and Marco leads you into the yard. There are a series of shadowy passages that connect the two docking bridges. Now's the time, sleeper, Marco says as you work your way through the yard. Any questions, any concerns, speak up now. We have to pass any checks. What do we do when we get there? I'm all good. Yeah, will we let pass any checks? Marco shrugs. The freighter is a known ship to Utsubo. It makes this route on a regular basis. They have no reason to suspect it. You reach a vertical tunnel and start ascending. At the docks, we'll probably have to give some enforcers a nod and a smile, but that's it. You come out at the entrance to the other docking tunnel. The freighter filling the viewing windows, so all you can see are the plates of its scratched hull. I'm like thinking, like, will they like check us? Because I'm worried they'd be like, oh, it's a sleeper, and then like they'd raise flags. That's like my only concern, because I don't know how many sleepers would do this type of work, you know? You hit the button to open the doors and glide towards the freighter's airlock. As you do, the fear settles in. You're going back to dark side. Yep, we're going back. Darkside sprawls out across the starscape, its surface a vast and random accumulation of structures, lights, and signs. You have watched it as the freighter cuts across the belt. As it grew, cycle by cycle, like a stain across the cockpit glass. Watching it approach, the fragmented memories of your time there pass through your mind, each one dissolving the moment you try to focus on it. The only sensations remain: despair, claustrophobia, fear, all somehow strengthened by their disconnected nature. It's as if, by not being attached to specific memories, they can run free through your mind, as alive as they were in the first moment of feeling. Instruction received. Appreciate it. Marco is in the pilot seat, talking to the port authority. Incoming to strut 2-3. He turns back to you, clicking off the outgoing comms channel. First step complete. We've got docking approval as expected. He raises his eyebrows, noticing something in your face. Keep it together, alright? I got this. No, I'm fine. Good. He turns back to the controls. You feel a punch on your shoulder, and you look across the cockpit to see a grinning cadet. No one's getting near you while I'm here. This is my kind of place, he stretches. No scrap, no dusty rocks. This is gonna be fun. There's a hollow rumble through the body of the freighter as Marco brings it into the dock. The noise of this draftier, more industrial ship differ to those of your rig, and you haven't quite got used to them yet. A swaka noise over the comms sends Marco scrabbling at the controls to submit the docking code he was sent just moments before. There's an agonizing wait and then a chirp as the code is accepted. The freighter is docked. Alright, let me go out first, talk to the dockers, start the unloading. He unclips from his seat. Then you're good to go. Okay, I trust them. Marco nods. Alright, hold fast. Well, I don't want to go out also, just because again, if they see a sleeper, they might do something suspicious. But if he deals with them, it's probably fine. As he glides out of the cockpit without waiting for a response, you hold your nerve, looking out at the flickering lights and distant traffic. The airlock clucks open and closed again, and time drags on. Turn your attention to the job ahead, seeing it stretched across in front of you. Dark side seems impossibly vast, too vast to find a specific person. But just to find a type of person, someone unhappy with Utsubo's gains, ready to risk their life to change this place, and pushed to a point of desperation or anger, might be a lot more doable. First, you must understand Utsubo, see how they run this place, where they meet, what they talk about, find where Utsubo is weakest, find where they can be broken, and first, think about the pressure that might be applied, not just by you, but by all of Darkside. Cadet floats lazily in the air, spinning a small tool between her fingers. Sure hope Marco hasn't run out on us already, she grins. That'll be real messed up. You know what, not funny. Cadet shrugs and stretches, just filling the silence. Airlock cycles once more, and moments later, Marco's in the cockpit, sweat beading on his brow. He takes a moment, his mood uncharacteristically flustered. Well, I bent the truth a little back there, but I think we're good. He runs a hand over his hair, slicking it back into place. Luckily, I've had a lot of practice lying to dock workers. He gives you a wink. They'll begin unloading later the cycle, and they won't be in a rush, he smiles. We have our time, I promise. But the sudden introduction evaporates any relief you were feeling. Utsubo are watching these docks, that I know for sure. For now, we are just another freighter, but all are coming and going, that could be a problem. He turns to you. We can try to disable their monitoring, or just get the job done before it becomes an issue. Why didn't you say anything earlier? I didn't know earlier, but we know now. Either way, we need to get on with what we are doing. Marco folds his arms. Utsubo are everywhere, and we need to understand them to know what is happening inside their organization. We slip under their skin and find out how they work. Marco looks to you. This is what I recommend. But now, Sleeper, it is your turn to lead. He folds his arms. Tell us where to begin. Feel the attention, the pressure shift to you. Time to find some allies. Time to find Utsubo's weakness. Time to stop running and resist. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, no, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 until we max the stress, and it happens 1 per cycle. So we can be here for 7 times. Let's just see everything we can see. What is this? Dock surveillance. The fastest and crudest way to disable surveillance is to cut wires until it goes offline. But which to cut? Max surveillance. The Utsubo surveillance uses the dock's layered network. With some careful and dedicated work, it could be disabled completely, going dark. With people monitoring the docks, there's only a certain amount of time before they find you, unless you blind them. Okay, we probably gotta do that first, then. Washgate, Darkside Freight Dock. Dock or debate. The fastest way to get information on Subo will be to kick up a conversation with the dockers. It's not exactly subtle, though. Eavesdropping. The safest way to investigate Washgate is by listening to the dockers, but who knows if you'll get the information you need. Shore leave. The dock at Washgate is under Subo control, making it a solid place to start when trying to infiltrate their operations. Oh, the rise. The residential area. Track enforcers. Subo enforcers aren't hard to spot, and so with some patience and effort, following them will lead you to their meeting place. Hack Utsubo comms. To find the Utsubo safe house in the rise, you'll need to monitor the network. Chatter between enforcers without being caught. Utsubo territory. Fred the Rise is a hub for Utsubo operations and enforcers. We need to find out where they meet. Okay, so those are the only two places we can go. Well, let's first disable this. I think this is the big important thing. Luckily I'm an engineer, so this shouldn't be that hard. Okay, and then you're also engineer. Fortunately, I roll all ones. Okay, neutral gives you stress. I see. First we'll give 3 to the lowest die. This will make us 6, which means we'll just lose the stress anyway. You can't do interface. Okay, that's fine. Engage. 25, 50, 25. How much stress does he get if he gets this? Okay, we don't know. +3. Just 1 stress, okay. Because he only has 4 stress bars. Now you can see here, he has only 4, while Cadet has 6. So he's a lot more. We have less chances with them, that's all. Okay, let's see. We're gonna give ourselves a little bit of stress, I think. Oh shit. We increased their stress. That's not good. Okay, we just rest. We're gonna pause the +1 each time. So let's just do that right now. There we go. They are now dark. So it won't go +1. Very nice. Okay. Now we can actually focus on this, which unfortunately this is the hardest one for me to do. Oh shit, we just gave him stress. Okay, you know what? Just do this. I just realized I have 2 positive dice on. I have 2 6s on him. Why don't I just use him? Okay, let's see what they have to say. New location discovered. The Docker's Rest. Steal passkey. The fastest and most dangerous way to get an entry cipher is to steal a physical passkey. First, you have to find a mark. Extract cipher. Rather than steal passkey wholesale, it might be safer to hack the personal slates of the dockers and extract enough data for a fake. Gives me stress. Okay, I can push one of these. Yeah, let's check. Can you do something here? No, we can't. That's unfortunate. Engineer and engage is none of these. This is risky. I got a positive outcome though. Very nice. You leave Docker's Rest with an Utsubo passkey in hand, to get you inside one of their safe houses. Now, the trick is to find one. You make your way through the docks, head down in the dark passageways. Sleeper, cadet calls you from farther back in the passage. Marco just split. You stop in the dark side passageway you were drifting down. Quiet connection between two thoroughfares. You glance around at the loose bundles of wires and stained metal plates. It seems like a safe place to talk. Looked real nervous, cadet catches up with you, and he just blurted out that he had something he needed to do and left. She shrugs. Was gone just like that. You pause for a moment, unsure how to react. I'm not gonna ask her to stop. What's going on? Tell me, Sleeper, cadet folds her arms. This is your crew. I assumed you knew he was going. She meets your eye, which I can see now is obviously not the case. Take a moment. No need to panic. Marco brought you here. We'll get you out. You look down the corridor towards a this is a bussier? I don't know what that is. Wider passage where people drift by. If he needs to deal with something, then, well, he needs to deal with something. Doesn't mean anything. You sure as hell wish he had given you a warning. Surveilled and now short-handed. This job is going to be bad for worse. Oh, he left us. Shit. Well. Okay, well, I need to rest. I don't know. He's gone, so I can't use some of his dice anymore. Fortunately, she's not helpful for us either. I'll just do it myself. It's fine. There we go. Because we have no rush. We can take as many cycles as we need at this point. This isn't going up. And that's why I disabled it, because I was like, we're gonna need more cycles. Okay, there we go. This new area we get here. The Tsupo entry. Unlock. Oh, here it is. Unlock entrance. A simple door leads down into what you suspect is an Utsupo safe house. All you need is the passkey cipher to enter, which we got. Easy. Let's continue. The unmarked door slides open as you use the cipher. Beyond it, a dark tunnel descends. Its roof a mess of bundled tubes and wires. Entering, you see a flickering light at its far end, and hear the soft echo of raised voices. Looks like a rat's nest to me. Cadet grins darkly. Let's go see what they're chattering about. You drift down the tunnel, keeping your limbs clear of the sides. Your passage through the air silent and gentle. You focus on the flickering light, the sound of the voices growing ever louder. As you descend through the tunnel, you notice a small dark doorway leading off before the tunnel reaches the bottom. You slow yourself gently, fingertips grazing the metal walls on either side. Glancing through, you see the doorway leads out onto a framework balcony high on the wall of some dark room. You glance down to the bottom of the tunnel and hear the voices rising in volume. The balcony, cadet hisses, "Come on!" She turns head through the doorway. You come out onto the balcony overlooking a dark, cavernous room, lit in patches with a bright area at the far end. It's filled with people, Utsubo enforcers and members, all facing forward, their floating bodies silhouetted by the pool of bright light ahead. And in that bright pool, two figures are arguing. You come to the edge of the balcony, a feeling of safety granted to you by both your elevation and the cover of darkness. Below, the entire room has its attention focused on the two figures in the pool of light, the watching audience keeping to the dark perimeter as if they were observing a piece of theater. Feel cadet arrive beside you, her attention, like yours, on the scene below. These are my territories. You need to withdraw. One figure, their features hard and defined in the pool of light, gestures at the other. There's no discussion to be had. Warren, early Utsubo warden. Interesting. I don't know what this says. The other figures laughed. You're pathetic, Orin. The Washgate is a joke, like you. He turns to the crowd, and and you see dark hair, dark eyes, and a smile like a slit. Okay, vicious Utua Warden. Dark-haired figure addresses the gathered crowd. Warren makes nothing from the wash gate. All that freight, and he lets it slip by while he soaks up bribes. Cheering echoes across the crowd. He is stealing from you all. Daichi, piece of shit, Orin spits, a glinting orb sipping past the other man. You have no respect. A few of the crowd enter the light, gathering behind one figure or the other. Barely more than an enforcer and already dictating terms. If you had any idea what was happening in the passages, you know we've been facing sabotage and resistance across the wash gate. Orin shakes his head. Utsuo's control is under question. Sabotage and resistance, you quietly log the remark in your mind. Those are the people you have to find. Daichi smirks in response. I still know how it is in the passages, but you are getting soft, Orin. He glances around. You can't deal with some angry shop owners. He makes a show of his mocking laugh. It's easy to mock, but they are organized, and I am close to rooting out their meeting places. Warren folds his arm. You wouldn't know where to start looking. If we say so, old man. In the end, it's only a matter of time before someone ambitious notice is how weak you have become. Daichi draws a figure across his throat with a grin. The room erupts in shouts. Both sides call out insults, while others in the crowd air their own problems, some drifting into the light to heckle Daichi and Orin directly. Silence! A voice cuts through the room, raised above all. The noise drops. You lean forward to get a better view. A woman holds her muscled arms in the air, a wide, strong posture of control, not surrender. Ankita, commanding a Tubo lieutenant. Both of you, she shakes her head as her long braids sinking through the air she does. Enough, this is not how we do things. The chaos is replaced by disgruntled muttering. No one voice willing to rise above the murmur. Daichi floats to one side, arms coolly folded, while Orin fumes opposite of him, his hands in tight fists. So, this is how the Starward Ward conducts its business. He shoots hard looks across the room. Animals fighting over scraps. Ankita. Ankita? I don't know KH, how you pronounce that. Ankita. I'm gonna say Ankita. Ankita. Orin eyes Daichi as he speaks. Daichi is the one disrespecting the leadership and the trust they have in place. I said enough. Your weakness does not impress me, Orin. He turns to Daichi, and neither does your petulance. Daichi, watch who you're calling weak, Ankita. Orin narrows his eyes. You may be Lane's favorite, but I have something that will change all that. He looks out over the heads of the crowd. Bring 'em. A figure is dragged into the circle of light, their head low, in greasy tangle of dark hair drifting over their face. They lift a hand and slick back on their eyes. That dickhead that hisses from beside you as Marco's pale face catches the light, gleaming his sweat. This one here has a very interesting story to share with us all. Orange gestures to the gathered crowd. I'm sure you're all aware of the bounty Lane has put on the head of a very valuable escaped sleeper and their accomplices. Well, Marco here tells me, he smiles at Marco, whose eyes are fixed forward, squinting in the light, that same sleeper is right now on a freighter moored in the Wash Gate docks. Is he? I don't care. It seems like he's betraying us, right? But it's probably one of those things like, oh, I did it so you can get information. I was actually playing both sides. Because if you play both sides, you'll always end up on top. I don't know, something like that. Maybe he's like doing it so he's like, oh, I'm betraying them so that they're like looking for you there, but then also, but I'm doing it for you, something like that, you know? Like he's like, oh, you're welcome. A ripple runs through the gathered crowd, a reflection of the value of this information. Wonder how much crowd on your and Seraphin's head. Look into Marco's eyes, attempting to see any indication of what this might be. A desperate bid to save himself, or a betrayal of everything you agreed upon? His set stare reveals nothing. Now, Lane himself will be returning in 3 cycles. Oh shit, 3 cycles. And you can imagine how pleased he will be when I present the sleeper to him. Nikita stares at Orin. You have no business keeping this from me, she folds her arms. I'll be the one to bring the sleeper in. Not so fast, Ankita. Orin turns to the gathered crowd. The first of you to bring me the sleeper will be given a share of Washgate. He shoots a look across the circle of light. That includes you, Daiichi. The crowd erupts into shouts and movement, and the assembled Utsubo members suddenly up and moving towards the doors. You push yourself into the corner of the balcony, tucking yourself into the shadows as you hear the tunnel filling with voices. There are shouts and scuffles, and you fear that any moment you will be discovered. But as time passes, the noise subsides. You only open your eyes when the sound disappears altogether. The Utsubo members on their way to your freighter. A freighter that is supposed to take you off Darkside. Feel a panic rising. You're trapped here once more. Screw this, cadet hits beside you. We need to run, now. You ascend through the tunnel, silent, slow. Your eyes are on the entrance, hoping that no Utsubo member returns or enters. And then you are back out in the main passageway, blinking in the light of the fluorescent panels, gliding away from the entrance, lost in a daze. Somewhere on the rise, you eventually stop, not sure where you might be going, but needing to get away from what you just witnessed. You can't go back to the freighter, that much is clear, which means no supplies, no place to sleep. Then there's Marco. Was this always part of his plan, or is this just him in survival mode? Your mind fills with questions and worries, the path ahead unclear. What a dickhead. Marco already sold us out. Cadet hovers in the passageway. When I catch him, I'm gonna wring his neck. But why? Is that what that was? I don't believe it. Yeah, but why? I don't understand. Hell if I know. Cadet's eyes flash with anger. What does it matter? He's done. Is it as clean as Cadet says? Can you really leave Darkside without Marco? Is he already... If he actually has been caught by Utsubo, can you forgive him for giving it in to the pressure? You are angry, but you're struggling to be angry at him. Perhaps because you have been where he is now, under Utsubo's control. What would you have done to escape? Who would you have given up? Come on, Cadet jolts you out of the train of thought, your train of thought. We can work out what Marco deserves later. You can't go back, that's a fact. The ship was compromised. Knocks are probably swarming with Utsubo. It sighs and looks around. We should bed down here, ride out the worst of it. I know what it's like to be betrayed, Sleeper, trust me. But there's no time for feelings right now, only actions. Cadet nods up the corridor. I'm gonna find us an empty unit with a door that locks. Be back in a sec. You take a moment, trying to find a focus. Maybe if you could find those resisting Utsubo, they could help you. Though you wonder if they ever existed at all. Given that Marco was the one who reported their existence to you and Seraphim. Is this whole thing a ploy to collect the bounty, to bring you the dark side? If you search out Marco, perhaps he can answer you, for better or worse. And then you recall Orin's words, sabotage or resistance. That was an honest plea, and there is some truth in what Marco said. Utsubo was being resisted. I'm trying to gather yourself. You have to bounce back, to come up fighting. Otherwise, this place will drown you in its darkness. Oh shit. Okay, abandoned unit. Okay, so this is where we go for the end of the cycle. Oh, what happens if we end cycle? You get plus stress and plus crew stress. Oh shit! So we're on time now. We're actually on limited time. Steal supplies. Flicker Row lives up to its name. It is a dizzying strip of screens and stalls piled high with tech. You may find supplies among them. Oh shit! These supplies are empty. Engage. Yeah, like I can't do engage. Luckily you're here. You can do engage. I don't really want to push on this, but it's risky. 50-50. Just 50-50 it, I guess. We're resupplied. We got 2 supplies. Okay, what the hell do we do then? There's nothing on the map for me to do. Like literally there's nothing. I'm scrolling. This is where we came from, and we're cooked there. Okay, well, considering there's nothing for me to do right now, we're just gonna have to sleep. You wake in the cold of the abandoned unit to an unsettling quiet. The air cyclers whine, the heat diffusers hum, but nothing around you breathes. You are alone. You slowly raise yourself, unclip the straps from the bunk, and allow yourself to drift up into the air. Silence. And then, in that silence, you hear something. A scrape or scuff. It draws your eyes to the unit's doorway, where a ship is settled in the dark. I knew you couldn't have gone far. Uh-oh. Oh no, we've been caught. Oh shit. Bro, my rush, this is not 50-50, it's a 50-50. Oh no. We're gonna 50-50 it. Oh, we passed. You kick off hard, dropping your shoulder and aiming for Ankita. She raises an arm to deflect your hit. As you slam into her, Ankita reels back, then spins, wrapping you with both arms, and uses your momentum to whip you across and bundle you back into the unit. Just calm yourself, Ankita holds up both hands. Let's not cause too much damage, she raises an eyebrow. May I come in? She drifts through the doorway. You don't need any extraction now. Okay, you can't give me the lane. Look, just shut up and listen, Ankita drops her voice. I'm risking everything by coming up here, she hisses. So don't make this any harder than it is. What you need to know is this. I am on your side. Oh, shit. I want Darkside free, just like you, and I hate Lane just as much as you do. Oh, wait. Oh, is she the leader of the Resistance? Ankita sighs. I just have different methods, that's all. She raises an eyebrow. You might say better methods, given how well your visit has gone. Well, I guess the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know, no thanks to you, she laughs. Oh, it's all thanks to me that you aren't dead already. I'm the only person who can get you off Darkside, so you better listen closely, Ankita hisses. It's taken me more cycles than you would believe to get this deep into Itsubo, and I'm not about to give it up for one escapee. But then Lane doesn't usually run all across the belt chasing a lone escapee, even a sleeper. Ankita drifts a little closer, overshadowing you. So, you need to tell me now, what does Lane want with you? Why are you so important to him? I'm gonna trust... Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is a friend. She could just take me in right now, and she's probably stronger than I am, even though I think we're like an android. But I don't know how android strength works, I'm gonna be honest, in this universe. I'm just gonna say I don't remember. Yeah, raise an eyebrow. Please tell me you're joking. What you don't understand, Sleeper, is that I've been trying to keep you safe since I saw you arrive, but your friend hasn't made it easy. Getting himself caught by Itsubo is bad enough. Then blabbing about you being here? She sighs. He can only protect you so much. Where's Marco? I don't run the gang. He's Orin's. You can't risk starting an internal war. Either way, you are lucky you aren't in the same position, and you have me to thank for that. We'll ask again, Ankita meets your eye. Why is Lane pursuing you? Okay, it's probably because something's changing with my frame. Mia looks away in thought as you explain. She waits for you to finish. None of it makes any sense, but there's no way I'm letting Lane get his prize. Not until we understand more. She gives you a hard look. I can get you out, but I need a couple of cycles, and I need you to do something for me. You need to take this with you off station. She produces a thumbnail drive, holds it up. This is everything I've managed to scrape from within Utsubo. The key to channeling Lane is on here. I know it. Take it to Olivera. Olivera is tucked away in a crater in the shoals, that massive debris field beyond the hollow. Meets your eye. You give it to Carmen, no one else. Ankita presses the drive into your palm and closes your hand around it. No one but Carmen, you understand? Lane's rise has been cruel. He has spilled too much blood, but I'm ready. I'll make him pay for that. But Carmen needs to analyze what I've got on him to find the right place and moment to strike. Ankita meets your eye. I knew a sleeper once. I should have trusted them. She lets go of your hand. So now I'm trusting you. I'll get you out and you deliver. That's the deal. Ankita cracks her knuckles. Then together we can. Ankita spins sideways, slamming into the wall of the unit with a grunt. A few small globes of red liquid glitter in the air. Oh shit, does she get shot? I got her, Sleeper. Cadet shakes her fist with just Oh shit, you don't know. A shrill whine draws both of you and Cadet's attention to Ankita. She's holding a boxy pistol at her waist, its side blinking with a pale indicator light. You haven't got shit. Ankita reaches up and wipes a little blood. Her eyes not leaving Cadet. Solid punch, she smiles, but you should have checked who's on your side first. Okay, I'll record the rest later. I'll be back. I'm back. Cadet looks at you questioningly. What the hell is this, sleeper? Okay, Ankita's helping us. Helping? Cadet shoots her an angry look. No more slimy deals. I have to go, sleeper. She glances between the two of you. You explain this whole thing to your friend if you want, but I won't be here when you do. 2 cycles. Be ready to leave. She backs out of the unit. When Lane comes back, you go out. Neither of us wants him to win here. And if a piece of advice, forget Marco. Keep your head down and wait for me. She raises a finger. You need supplies? Steal them and flicker row. Otherwise, keep to yourself. Ankita gives you a hard look and slips out of the unit. Oh shit. The rise. Oh, we can find Marco. She said we don't. I still want to find Marco to get an explanation, but he might turn us in if we do. Endure and bro, you're useless, and you have 2 1s anyway. Search the passages. It's dangerous, but searching the rise for a trace of Marco or Tsubo activity might help you find his trail. I'll do so as long as if we get 7 on the stress. I'm not going to. Like, we're just gonna leave them. Search the network. Tsubo comms network has to come. Has to have some record or mention of Marco. If you can find it, you can find where they have taken him. Do you think he's captured? Or do you think he's worked with them? Like they're in cahoots? And that I don't know. We got a little bit of stress from that. Positive. Okay. Please be positive. Shit, it was neutral. We found him. Though you have no specific memory of it, there's something unpleasantly familiar with the place you have found yourself in. Among the many stacked units of the rise, framed by scaffolding and stretching away from Darkseid's reflectors in a way that is only possible in 0G, you have found yourself in a cold corner. Here, a locked door is marked with Utsubo's sigil, a single eel curled back on itself, its mouth around its own tail. This is the kind of door behind which Utsubo keeps its secrets, its assets like you and Seraphim were, like Marco is now. It's a door you have been watching, which is why you know there should be an enforcer lazily lent beside it, and why you know you only have moments before they come back. And we're gonna do engineer, obviously 100% positive. Reduce some stress here. You slip a shipbreaker's chisel from your belt pack and jam it into the lock, glancing over your shoulder as you try to force the mechanism. With a deft hand, you angle the chisel against the mechanism, and with a swift strike on the handle, the bolt pops off inside the lock. You slide the door open silently. You're in. A dim corridor stretches out ahead of you, lined with doors on either side. The memory hits you almost immediately. Long cycles between jobs in a cell like this, awaiting Lane's arrival, kept safe, a lie that you believed when you were first brought to a place like this. Most of the cells are dark, empty, but a warm glow spills from around one of the doors. Quickly approached and looked in. Marco is tucked into an inset berth, a padded niche like those in any unit. His back is turned to a small window in the door. You slam the exterior lock, release without thinking, Marco turning over to face the door as it hisses open. Sleeper, he freezes for a moment, unsure of your intentions. He raises a hand as if it's to protect himself, put something between you and him. You're lucky I'm here, Marco nods. Sleeper, He pushes himself up from the berth. He goes to speak and then stops himself. Let's just get out of here. Back out into the passageway, Marco follows slowly, tentatively. Time to leave. Lucky me. Oh shit. We got caught. Oh no. Lucky me. Daiichi floats in the corner, a knife glinting in his hand. I came to squeeze a little more info from Orson's prize here. He points the long knife at Marco. It looks like I just got everything I need. Oh no. He closes the gap, raising the knife. Now, stay still. I prefer the delivery to lay in one piece. I will attack him. Positive outcome. You feel the knife graze your side, slitting through your thick skin, but you swing your elbow anyway, connecting with Daiichi's face as you spin. Feel the crunch of his nose, the solid metal of your skeleton meeting the pliant bone of his. Moments later, Marco and you are streaking through the passages of the rise in a haze, the pain fading, but the fear holding strong, desperate to leave this place once and for all. Oh shit. Okay, refused to leave Marco on dark side. An achievement, friend of a friend. Yeah, I mean, it's Seraphine's friend. He's back with us. I wish we just learned. It's just in cycle. Look, are you explaining yourself? You awaken the bare unit, cloaked in the endless shadow of dark side. Outside the window, the lights of the city glitter, but you do not see them. Your attention is, instead, on the tugging thread in your mind. Lane, drawing even closer, you shiver. One more cycle and then you are out. Can I, like, rob? I need some more. We're out of supplies. Supplies empty. Shit. Now Marco. I don't see any supplies. I guess we're just gonna starve. Peek it through dark side recon without getting caught. We got auto stress. We gotta fix this up. Marco rises from his berth quietly. You haven't really spoke. The two of you kept busy by your own injuries and the constant fear that Daiichi will find you. But so far, he hasn't. And if Akira is to be trusted, this is your final cycle in dark side. You wait in silence, no one eager to speak. A deep fatigue has set in, and in this moment, all anyone can do is wait for this excursion to be over. Like, I wish you would explain. Like, we've been here for 2 days. Can you, like, explain what the hell happened? She's here. Marco nods at the doorway, where a silhouetted figure waits. Akira looks at Marco and then at you. Akira looks at Marco and then at you, a raised eyebrow, the only acknowledgement that you went against her advice. Lane is back on dark side. We have to go now. Akira looks tired, angry. We won't have another chance. Come with me, quickly, quietly. She turns and pushes out into the corridor. Cadet nods. Let's get the hell out of here. Akira leads you across dark side, not stopping to look back. The lights and passages flash by, but you barely notice them. All eyes are fixed ahead on the way out. At some distant part of the station, Akira stops at the docking bridge, a small freighter visible through the viewing windows. She slaps the door release and it slides open. She grabs your shoulder, looking into your eyes. Lane's focus will be on dark side now. He needs to stop the infighting to shore up Utsubo. If you get out now, he won't follow. Remember, Akira hisses the instructions to you. Get that drive to Olivera. Give it to Carmen, no one else, no matter what they say. We'll be back. Akira simply nods and then she is gone, disappearing into the endless, winding passages of dark side. Drift gingerly down the docking tunnel, which leads into the cold and sparse cargo bay of the ship. Once you are inside, there's a hiss and the door scissors shut. For a moment you panic, seeing no exit, no other doors, just a metal-walled bay. Is this a trap? But the engines rumble to life, and you give in to your exhaustion. If Akira has tricked you, at least you are leaving this place behind. And then you feel it, cold fingers reaching to your mind. You are so close, Lane's voice in your ear. You are here. A rustling, a shifting. I can't quite place you, can't quite put my finger on you, Sleeper, but I know you are there. What were you doing here? Hoping to confront me, perhaps? Or something else? A hiss. I'm right here, you coward. Come and find me. I'll admit, I'm not ready for you, Sleeper. A flicker in a spasm. But so soon this will all be over. A tone begins. Shrill and inescapable. Let me show you, the tone rises. Lane is in the bay of the freighter, the pull of constant acceleration, a comforting pressure against his chest. Man looks around the bay, taking it in slowly. He inhales the stale air deeply. Lane feels power, feels pride. The sense of control over another excites him. This is his desire. Lane lifts his right hand and turns it in the air, flexing his fingers in a satisfying wave. Something flickers at the corner of your vision for a moment, and you strain to turn Lane's head. It does not turn, but you swear you see a figure there in the bay with you. It opens its mouth, as if to speak, as if to scream, and then it is gone. A smile grows on Lane's face, a spreading tightness that has its own impulse. He raises one hand and uses it to grip the smallest finger of the other. A pause, and then a sudden jerk. Lane snaps the finger back against the jolt. His pain is instant, as is yours. It burns your vision away. When the white-hot blindness has faded, you look out on those same metal walls. You hold the same finger in your hand, and as you release it, you see the crooked shape it has been bent into. A shiver runs through you, and you reach back into your own mind to see if any fragment of Lane remains there. You put your hands on your face and push, as if to push him from your head. The ship continues out on its starward arc, away from Darkseid, away from Lane, but you can't help but feel that some part of him is still there, behind your eyes, concealed beneath the pain of that snapped finger. So what, he, like, snapped a finger where he was, like, he broke one of some other finger and, like, it's connected to us? That's weird. We're starving, of course. It takes a long time before you are ready to discuss everything. First, there was the journey to the yard, then disembarking from the freighter, then explaining to the waiting crew why their ship was impounded, something Marco offered 1,000 apologies for. Thankfully, the crew of the ship that brought you out of Darkseid, sent by Ankita, took the others aside and settled them. Through the promise of enumeration or the threat of violence, you aren't sure, but you expect they will leave together for Darkseid soon. You do your best to explain your encounter with Ankita to your crew, but the mention of her name sets off a significant reaction in Bliss. It seems the two have history, a relationship that fell off. Bliss removes themselves from the conversations, and later on you find them in the berths, staring at the wall. The whole time, you find yourself in a daze, your skin hurts, and your muscles tremble. You don't feel yourself. You rest for a while, and as you do, conversations echo around you, until you find yourself able to rise. Sleeper, Marco comes to you in the quiet of the rig. Can we speak for a moment? Yes, I want to hear him out before I pass judgment. Go ahead. Marco nods. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks down. I know I almost cost you everything, but you have to understand something. When they caught me, I was looking for someone important to me. That was why I wanted to come with you. I just wanted to get a message to him and to know that he was alright. He screws up his face, and each word bringing him pain. And I admit, I thought I might be able to bargain on his behalf to get us both out. Bargain using my life? Marco can't bring himself to confront it. Oh, to confirm it. But you both know it is true. All I can say is I am sorry. Look, you can use the yard when you get back to the scatter yards. There are some components in there. Take what you want, Marco sniffs. I'm going to stay here a while. He does not meet your eye. He simply turns away and drifts down the corridor. As he does, Seraphim passes him by, receiving no acknowledgement. Oh, this is a different image of Seraphim, I feel like. This is not his usual outfit. Seraphim gives you a questioning look as Marco leaves. What happened out there, Sleeper? He floats there, stretched his scarred arm. Yes, right there. The protective sleeve he has been wearing since the far spindle finally removed. We found resistance. Okay. I feel like it's important for him to know that what happened with Marco, though, because he's like his friend, right? Marco betrayed us. Aaron shakes his head. What do you mean? He told us who to where to find me. No, Seraphim frowns. That can't be. He pauses. It's not that I don't believe you, but Marco hates Usubo, Seraphine sighs. Comes through for me so many times, I never thought... I'll talk to him, Seraphine nods, a grim look on his face. I'll get the full story. Seraphine looks down. I'm sorry I wasn't there, Sleeper. I should never have let Marco go instead of me. You know what? It's not his fault, okay? He didn't actually know what was gonna happen. That's okay. Seraphine nods. Never again. He looks up. Tell me it was worth it, Sleeper. That you got something on Utsubo. He explained about the meeting you witnessed, the conflict between Oren and Daiichi, and Ankita's intervention. Explaining Ankita takes a little more effort, but you try to remember everything that happened. You explain Ankita's insistence that she was working against Darkseid and how she got you off the station. You explain that Utsubo itself is coming apart with Lane absent, and that this will draw his focus away from the two of you. Seraphine waits until you have finished to respond. So, this Ankita got herself inside Utsubo, he raises an eyebrow, just to try to break their grip on Darkseid, he whistles. Take some balls. You explain the drive, mention Olivia, Carmen, and then hold up the thumbnail drive, the one Ankita entrusted to you. Olivera? I don't know. Olivera, I have no idea how to pronounce it. He screws up his face. I've heard of it, maybe once or twice. I just assumed it was some backwater colony, he sighs. Never met a Carmen, though. What's on the thing? Seraphine nods at the thumbnail. Ankita didn't say. I don't get it, Seraphine raises an eyebrow. We just deliver this little mystery drive, and that's all? He looks away, deep in thought. Is that what you want to do next? Olivera, you've never even heard of it, but it seems like the place to go. We want to help Ankita fight back against Lane. You look at the drive, and as you do, you can't help but feel you are being used, not for the first time. One thing I will say, Seraphine begins, clearly thinking out loud. If you want to head back to Darkseid, take on Lane, we are going to need to do so on our ship this time. Also, by the way, why does it say feeling used? Well, of course, she helped us get out. Like, it's a bargain. She got us out for us to deliver this drive. I don't feel like we're being used. I feel like this is just the deal. You know, her part of the deal has already been fulfilled. She got us out of Darkseid when we were stuck there. Like, I don't feel I'm being used. I feel like this is a bad portrayal of the situation. Some crews get spoof transponders, send out a signal matching another ship, he shrugs. We're not going to get one fitted here, but that's something we need to look out for. Sure, you think. Go back to Darkseid, where Lane waits. A shudder of fear runs through you, thinking of the moment he slips into your mind on the freighter. If you ever go back there, you'll know you'll need something to counteract him. But you also recall Overseer's presence in that moment too, his strange form holding its shape as Lane tried to override your control. Perhaps Overseer has a way for you to resist his signal. Yes, I forgot about Overseer, I'm gonna be honest with you. Your mind whirls with possibilities and problems. Is this really the right move to go back to the place that almost killed you twice? Take Lane on? Seraphine looks at you expectantly. What are you thinking, Sleeper? Yeah, I feel like if someone was like chasing me the whole time, I feel like I couldn't sleep ever. So I feel like we do need to like deal with them. We need to prepare. I couldn't agree more. Seraphine shakes his head. Next time will be different. We will be ready. We'll come up fighting and Lane won't have a clue what's hit him. We need work. We need a crew. Seraphine starts counting off his fingers. We need to take that thing to Oliveira and we need you strong, Sleeper. Speaking of, Seraphine takes out a box of components. I kept myself busy these past cycles working in the fabricator bay on the scatter yards. Figuring you can use some spares, but first, Seraphine takes a calming voice. We need rest. Yeah, no shit. Okay. Oh shit, we have so many glitch belts. Okay, let's go to the rig first and foremost. Let's go to... Let's see, this is 2080. Yeah, this just gives us stress by doing that. Okay, let's just go buy food first and foremost then. 50-50. Okay, I'm going neutral, thank goodness. Oh, I fixed the die. Heal's only 4 here, actually, that's quite nice. Okay. Let's feed our cat since we haven't been here in a while. Into the cycle. The darkness flows across you, and you know what comes next. We're gonna talk to Overseer. Yep, the sleeper. The multi-part image of Overseer assembles itself in front of you. You must intervene in your current course. Okay, so intervene in what? The opening of your systems has breached a new paradigm. You are dangerously exposed. The voices come out both soundless and shrill. As we are sharing your hardware, that means we, too, are fatally exposed. The individual agent you encountered, we were almost completely erased by their attempts to seize control. Overseer's 3 heads nod eagerly in agreement. It's Lane. We have knowledge of this name from your memory banks. There is much of interest to us recorded there, though often partially and inconsistently, Overseer whirs unsteadily. But yes, we can confirm Lane's role in this vulnerability. It is our understanding that the assumption of inevitability is incorrect. Overseer glows with bright veins of data, but in this state we cannot operate with full functionality. If we were to be recompiled in our correct configuration, we believe we'd be able to calculate a new path. Our aim would be to close the vulnerabilities and reinforce your systems against future intrusions. This will ensure our safety within your system. The 3 sets eyes lock into you. Will this also please you? How? We do not know. All 3 heads cock at an angle. We are aware we were built with certain capabilities, but we cannot access them until we are recompiled. We are confident to a substantial degree that we will know how to complete the process once recompiled. The 3 heads nod one to another. And then recompile. The heads revolve thoughtfully for a moment. Without our originating codebase, we cannot recompile, Overseer flickers. If we were able to speak with a Solheim systems engineer, perhaps lead engineer Jakob Kandinsky, perhaps we can acquire it? The heads stare at you expectantly, like 3 partially deconstructed puppies. Solheim's gone. Yes, the heads nod repeatedly. Of course. The heads continually nodding. We were, of course, aware of this. You look at the fragmented program itself, its systems, unstable and broken. You realize it is far worse off than you, and its collapse is almost inevitable. How could it possibly save you? It is a difficulty, Overseer flicks between poses, but all codebases are held in centralized Solheim facilities. They are Station A1, the CAN Channel Operations Center, and the Control Center of the HAPEP, or Helion Asteroid Belt Photovoltaic Extraction Project. Overseer sighs helpfully. HAPEP, is that dark side? Overseer immediately latches onto the thought. Based on your memory banks, we believe so. Correct. It occurs to you that this entire conversation is happening within your head. It is an unsettling feeling. Darkside is a city now. This is true, but its foundation is HAPEP itself. Overseer chirps brightly. We'll go back to the dark side, okay? I've already established that we'll be eventually going back there. We understand that the individual seeking to overwrite you is stationed in the HAPEP itself. Overseer's 3 heads separate and turn inward as if in conference. The shattered heads turn simultaneously, unsettling in the directness with which they address you. If you can access the HAPEP mainframe without making yourself known, we can reconstruct ourselves and gain the ability to reconstruct you. Theoretically, one of the heads adds. Theoretically, the other 2's heads confirm. Would that protect me from Lane? Theoretically, the heads confirm again. The reassurances of a delusional Solheim protocol are barely reassuring. If Overseer is correct, this may be your only option. We feel your doubt, but we must impress on you the importance of this, please. Overseer's eyes flash, all 6 of them. If not for your sake, for ours. If you cannot find your way to the HAPEP before encountering this Lane, you will surely be overwritten, and we would also share your fate. The heads rotate. We would not like this to happen. You sigh, exhausted from this conversation. Overseer gets the message. We'll leave you to recharge, but please consider the path ahead. You come back to the ragged paneling of the bunks. Somewhere behind your left eye, the ache begins. You envy Overseer for its lack of a body and the pain it causes. But then, suddenly, you wonder if in sharing your body, it shares your pain too. The thought makes you pity the broken protocol, its sense of time and place shattered. Perhaps you share share more than you would like to admit. The path ahead begins to take shape. It seems the return to dark side is inevitable, but you'll need help to make that return. Yes, I'm aware. So, we gotta go Carmen. We gotta get back to the dark side, and we need to make sketches across the belt. So we're gonna do the one that across the belt, a minor mission. I'm just gonna fly to all the places we've been, because he gave us enough money that we can just buy the fuel. Like, I'm not concerned about that. I don't know if I want to do it here. This is a 2080, so... Oh, it just breaks it. Okay, well, that's fine. Oh. Ooh, we actually got an engine component this time. Engine component fabricated. Yeah, before it was just scrap components. We'll just use this to get rid of our stress. Hopefully, anyway. Recovery failed. Boo. And we gotta buy food. Okay, now let's make our way. Okay, so what's the new place? Oliveira, okay. So we gotta fly. Okay, so the places we have to fly to are, well, not Wellspring, obviously. Okay, so only 4 locations, that's fine. Passable. Okay, let's go to the Hollow first then. We'll go counterclockwise. Hollow view. Sketch. Oh, sketch design. Okay. It's safe. Find a high window within one of the radius. Oh, you try to focus on the sketch, but your mind is on other things. You delete everything you draw. Look down in the core of the hollow. Good spot for sketching. Nice. Okay, we got the sketch. Okay. The fuel is cheapest in Greenbelt, so we're just gonna go there and then buy fuel. We'll fill up here. First, we'll also feed our cat, by the way. Greenbelt view. Pick a spot on one of the green field's bridges in a cloud of floating leaves. Perfect place for sketching. So many leaves, so many patterns, all in delicate shades of green. I think I have Intuit, by the way. Failed. Okay, I got rid of the glitch dice, though. Okay. Let's fill up here. Fuel's only 3 here. Fuels or supplies are 12, but I'm hoping we can just use this extra die, have to harvest a mushroom. Nice, we got a supply. Let's go to the next area then. I don't think we can drive directly there. Yeah, we'll have to go to the healing gate. That's fine though. Okay. Well, we're here anyways, might as well just get put some scrap away. Whatever. I'm not gonna use them, all of them. It doesn't matter. We'll fill up here. Settle at a wide viewing window and look down a painted halls. Okay, the spindle is a tower of mismatched painted panels. Excellent time to take all in. You settle at a wide viewing window and look down the vertiginous length of the far spindle. Time to do a little sketching. There we go. Return to the scatter yards. Okay. We already did all the gambling we can. Sure. 13 cryo. Let's just use 8. Okay, let's refill up as well. We got 14. Okay, let's process the scrap here. Okay, there we go. Fuel's 5 here. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but also I don't know what to do with these scrap components. Buy scrap components. Nah. Okay, we'll go to float some. And then we'll go back down. Let's see, I think I can sell... Buy engine. I don't want to buy engine component. Can I sell something here? Yeah, fuel's so expensive here, it's not worth it. No, I guess I can't sell anything here. Oh well. Let's just do some work then. Oh, we get raw scrap. Okay, whatever. Come. That's fine. Now let's go back. There we go. We've gone all across the world. Sleeper, Surya booms as he meets you inside his yard. I couldn't be happier to see you. Tell me, did you find inspiration out there in our belt? He grins widely. I did. Let me see your work. He holds out a hand and you pass him the color slate. Lovely. He scrolls through the sketches. I'll pass your designs on to my crews, where they will build on them. Surya gestures to the yard. They are the best shipfitters in all the belt, as you know. If you come to the yard and speak with them, you may choose whatever design you desire. Surya squints at the slate. This hollow drawing is really quite interesting. He reaches into his tool belt and produces a stack of chits. The remainder of your fee, our business is concluded. He nods, adding a little bow to the movement. I am a busy man and must get to my business, but thank you again for helping to build a legacy for my yard. Surya folds his arms across his chest. I believe you have work to see. Oh, you have work to see too. To see too. But imagine, if you will, flying out on your next contract in a fresh livery. A beautiful reinvention of Surya's yard. He gestures widely. When your clients ask why your rig is so beautiful, feel free to send them to me. Surya smiles, bows, and turns to leave. You watch Surya go, still unsure if his entire attitude is an act meant to confuse you into consent. He's a hard man to dislike, but there's something about him that you can't quite put a finger on. Either way, it's hard not to feel a little bit thankful for the chance he gave you to look at the belt with new eyes, even if it was while flying one of the most garnished ships the belt's ever seen. There you go, we can actually upgrade something else. Achievement, unlocked all the possible rig paint jobs. Ooh. Okay, let's just do interface +1. Ooh. Is this the design he did? I actually don't remember. What is this? Oh, you can choose which one you want. Green belt, hollow, old. I want to do the green belt one. Rig repainted. Let's see what it looks like. Oh. Ooh, yeah, it has like the leaves on it. Okay, that's cool. Oh. Nice, okay. Yeah, let's do a little bit of work here, I guess. Fuel. More fuel for here, that's fine. We got another engine component this time. Okay, nice, nice. Engine component fabricated. There we go. We got 3 engine components this time instead of scrap components. I don't know why I was doing scrap components before, but anyways, it's fine. Now we gotta go do this one. Let's go, Oliveira. You find Oliveira exactly where Ankita said it would be, a ragged colony nestled in a crater on one of the biggest rocks of the shoals. Seraphim gets no response to his initial broadcast, so you find yourself in a docking tunnel, the rig at one head and the colony at the other, with no idea what awaits you. I needed to get back on that ship and keep flying. You freeze in the dark tunnel, a figure in front of you holding a long gun at their hip. I'm serious. Your eyes adjust to the dark, and as they do, you see a man, no, a boy, carrying a long, dark shape in his hand. I don't know how you found us, but you need to leave right now and forget this place. You glance over your shoulder and see Seraphim. His hands raised in front of him in a gesture of calm. Look, kid, we mean no harm. How about you go run and get someone? I am someone. I am Sander. He sticks out his jaw. It's you I don't know, and I'll decide who's gonna do some harm here. Reaches across his chest and thumbs on a lamp he has lashed there. You blink in the glare of the bright light, shielding your eyes, and as you do, you see a flicker of confusion crossing Sander's face. He meets your eye with a look of shock and opens his mouth as if to speak, but no words emerged. Look, there's something for Carmen. You notice the familiar name register with Sander, adding to whatever confusion or question your appearance has provoked. You see his eyes taking in your sleeper body, his gun dropping a little as he takes his attention off it. Is this? He looks between you and Seraphim. Are you here for Flint? He puts the gun closer to him. I'll be honest, kid, we have no idea who you're talking about. Seraphim allows himself to drift a little forward. How about you drop the gun and we can talk like adults? As Seraphim floats past you, he gives you a look that makes you nervous. Look, we're just here to deliver something. Candace. Sander, the voice echoes along the docking bridge. Sander, what are you doing? A figure appears at the end of the bridge behind Sander. A young woman clearly older than the boy in front of him. Found these two trying to sneak in, Candace. Sander keeps his eyes on you and Seraphim as he speaks. Saboteurs, maybe? Was built to send them on their way, Sander grins. I assure you, we are not saboteurs, miss. Seraphim smiles at Candace. Candace sighs and glides towards Sander. Not messing around with that welder. She snatches the gun out of Sander's hands. And as she does, both you and Seraphim reflectively flinch. Candace looks at the two of you with a raised eyebrow and turns the gun so you see it better. You notice the fuel tank and welding bezel probably has an effective range less than half a foot. Seraphim looks at Sander and rolls his eyes. Seriously? Candace lowers the welder to her side, turns to Sander. Now's not the time. We just got an emergency broadcast from Carmen and Flint. Something's happened. Sander's attitude changes immediately. He turns to face Candace, putting his back to you, as if he had just disappeared completely. What do you mean something's happened? I don't know. They went quiet in the shoals. All we got was a distress signal. Candace raises her hands reassuringly. Don't get excited. They probably just had a technical fault on the ship. We should check in anyway. We have to get them. Sander grabs the welder back and slings it over his shoulder. And what, Sander? Candace sighs. They took our only functioning ship. The tender tied still in pieces in the hangar. Taryn gives you a nudge. Yeah, I know where this is going. Nods towards Candace and Sander. This is your chance. Look, we have a ship. Sander wheels around in the tunnel, squinting at you in thought. Seraphim moves past you, approaching them. We need to see Carmen, and it seems like Carmen needs our help. He looks between the two of them. So, how about we stop messing around in this dingy tunnel and go get your friend? Sander turns back to Candace. Them? Really? He rolls his eyes. We're not the only people on Olivera. There must be other ships. Want to go looking? They're here now. Candace looks at Seraphim. They're generously offering to help. She smiles sheepishly. Fine, Sander folds his arms, but I'm coming with you. Fine by us. Seraphim shakes his head and looks at you. Come on then. Both turn and head back into the ship, Seraphim whispering as you do. What kind of backwater has Ankita sent us to? He sighs. That kid thinks he's some kind of sheriff. Not used to visitors, I guess. Tucked away in the shoals like this, I'm not surprised. What are they doing out here? What are we talking about? Sander catches up with you and Seraphim. His mood seemed buoyed by the prospect of boarding a ship. You wonder how often he gets to leave Olivera. Olivera? Oh, you haven't seen the half of it. Sander winks. Wait up. You turn back to see Candace gliding up the tunnel. I changed my mind. I'm coming too. Give me a minute to grab some supplies. She glances at Sander, just in case. Seraphim cuts in. I'll give you a hand. That's alright, Sleeper? We'll be there in a sec. He looks at you. You pause, but Seraphim doesn't seem to be waiting for confirmation. As he and Candace heads back into the dock, you're slightly thrown off by his eagerness to be helpful. This is the first time you've actually seen him be welcoming to anyone coming on board the rig. Ooh, do you think he fancies her? He likes her? When you get to the cockpit, you notice Sander looking wide-eyed at the consoles and switches. Cool shit, he grins. After a short wait, Candace and Seraphim come back into the cockpit. All loaded up, Seraphim pats Sander on the shoulder. Might want to strap in there, kid. Sander and Candace find a place to settle as Seraphim buckles himself into the flight seat. Alright, he turns to Sander. Show us where to go. Okay. Let's go. You head out into the shoals, the thick debris field that surrounds Olivera. What's happening in here, Sleeper? Bliss pokes their head to the cockpit as Seraphim brings the ship in towards the signal coordinates Sander gave him. Look around the cockpit. Sander is tapping at the co-pilot console mounted in front of his seat in a haphazard way, while Candace is asking Seraphim about how the rig works. Surprisingly, Seraphim is responding with patience and care. The help us find Carmen. If you say so, Bliss looks over at Seraphim and Candace. Is Seraphim smiling? They shake their head. Something is going on. Bliss turns back to you. Junie is working on the ship's wiring and won't respond to my messages. She's probably in the walls somewhere, hooked up to the main line. They smile a weak smile. I'm here, so how about you tell me what we are doing out in the middle of nowhere? Quiet, Seraphim's voice cuts through the chatter. Is that? He gestures out into the debris field, a sparking, ragged-looking shape tucked behind a rock. Tina rushes to the cockpit glass. Carmen. A moment of tense silence grips the room. That's a ship. Oh shit, it's like destroyed. Oh, you can't see it. Let me move myself. Look at it. It's destroyed. See, look. It's right here. Right here. It's like cut in half. Okay. You and Bliss can exchange concerned glances. This isn't good. I'll bring her in. Seraphim's eyes are fixed on the wreck and the crumbled ship now. You don't know anything yet, so everyone calm down. Sander is silent, his face pressed against the glass. Candace stares out at the wreck, her cheeks pale. No one speaks until the rig is brought to a stop. Alright, now we're going out there and we'll have a poke around. Seraphim looks between Candace and Sander. We verify the ship and we recover the crew. Seraphim gives you and Bliss a nod, and you both push off and glide towards the back of the cockpit. Suddenly, Sander pushes off from the window and glides with you out of the cockpit. I'm coming too. You need someone to identify the ship. To identify... He stops and takes a breath. Are you sure? I'm sure. Sander gets the word out and pushes on ahead towards the airlock. You follow behind, ready to suit up and investigate the wreck. Oh shit. Well, Carmen's ship. Search the ship. The simplest way to find out what's happening is a full search of the gutted ship. That's no easy task when part of it has been blasted into debris. Reconstruct events, a crippled ship, holes torn in its hull, and a missing crew. With some thought and careful assessment, perhaps this wreck tells a story. Wreck assessment. If you want to have any hope of recovering Carmen and Flint, dead or alive, you'll need to start at the wreck and work your way out. Okay. Guys, we have Bliss with us, not Candace. I guess Candace is on the ship still. They just randomly gave us Bliss. Isn't Bliss like optional to take with you? You're engineer and Durn. She got a positive outcome. We'll just push it and then reduce our stress here. The search of Carmen's gutted ship has impacted the mood in the rig. As more and more evidence of an attack has appeared, the quieter Sander has got and the more Candace has retreated into the bunks. Now with the search complete, you are gathered in the cockpit to discuss what's been found. Come on, Candace floats by the door, hugging herself against the cold. Tell us already. Sander is perched on the back of one of the seats, flickering at some hinged container he found in the wreck. Open and closed, open and closed. I'll explain carefully. I don't want to do it bluntly. I feel like this is a delicate matter. You start by summarizing the search, talking about the details, picking your language carefully. You describe the damage to the ship, but not the attack. You talk about the occupants of the ship without mentioning what might have happened to them. Kevin quickly cuts in. What Sleeper is saying, he gives you a look, is that the ship was hit with weapons fire badly, and the drive was fired up, and they attempted to flee. The drive burnt out, and the ship, after hitting multiple rocks and bits of debris, came to a halt here. He takes a breath. We found no bodies. At the mention of that word bodies, a shudder runs through those assembled. Then they are here, somewhere. Sander has a steely look in his eyes. And we find them, whatever state they are in, and he looks at Candace. She nods back at him. Sander's right, we aren't leaving them out here. Carmen made Oliveira what it is. He saved us, and we won't come back without him. She shivers and looks at Sander. He would do the same for us. Based on the damage to the ship, Seraphim begins. They're almost certainly dead, we get it. Sander cuts him off. There are debris trails leading away from the ship. I've seen them. Seraphim holds his hands out in a calming manner. But those could be from secondary explosions or depressurization. Pick the wrong trail and it can lead us in circles, cycle after cycle. Then we better pick the right one. Candace has Sander's steely look now too. Cheers directly at Seraphim, challenging him to answer back. He sighs. Then that's what we'll do. He looks at you with resignation. Whatever happened here, you won't be leaving until you see the end of it. Shit. Debris trail. Oh no. We have a lot of trails to explore. Explore debris. There's only so much you can see from the scans. Sometimes you have to explore the debris and pick up the trail from its patterns. Map the debris. Scanning and mapping the debris from the ship will help you safely figure out where it might lead, but it's painstaking work. Okay, well... Oh wait, I hit interface, that's my bad. I'm lucky I got neutral. Are they all the same? I guess they are, yeah. I mean, we can do a 50-50. I don't know what happens if we get negative. Oh, shitty luck. He has 4 stress. Okay, we end cycle. Well, gotta start somewhere, I guess. Too stressed me. That's unfortunate. I mean, we push one and we just get a positive result guaranteed. Well, new location discovered. Oh, asteroid cave. Search the caves. Forget the trail. If the caves are searched comprehensively, then anyone will be found. Follow the trail. The caves are dark and winding, but with a sharp eye, it's possible to spot glittering shards of debris. The trail must lead somewhere. Okay. Little stress, tunnel vision. Trail leads to these barren and airless caves. It's hard to imagine someone surviving here for long. I don't know, we'll just keep doing it. One of our dice broke. Shoot. I'll just do them all myself. That's fine. When the Starward Trail led to the caves, a little hope was kindled in the hearts of the crew. But after plumbing the depths of these dark passages, that hope seemed snuffed out. Sander has struggled on in silence, only speaking to update Candace on the lack of news via the cockpit comms link. But he speaks now, quietly at first, then with increasing urgency. A light, sleeper. I see a light, and with that, he kicks off hard from the wall and darts down a dark tunnel with reckless speed. You follow, but the tunnels are winding, and you quickly lose Sander around a corner. You kick off from the same wall, trying to close the gap, but when you come around the same corner, you can't find Sander anywhere. And then you see it through a thin slit in the cave wall, a flickering, fading light. You cross over to it and see scratches and chunks scraped out of the wall of the rock. Someone has dragged something through here. I don't think contact's gonna reach through here. I'm just gonna push through. You push away some of the floating rock and squeeze yourself into the gap. As you do, you watch the light pulsing inside the cave, setting the cracks and shapes of the rock in sharp relief. You search those shadows for something recognizable, but the light source remains out of sight. And then you are through. You steady yourself against the wall and look towards the light. There, besides a fading emergency lamp, floats a body, its head instantly striking you as strange and misshapen. No. You know immediately this must be Carmen. His head is shrouded in an emergency helmet, inflated around him like a balloon, while an oxygen canister floats nearby, attached to the tube. His eyes are closed, his body still. You try to settle your gaze on his chest to see the telltale rise and fall, and then the light catches something else, something broken and skeletal nearby, a face with bright eyes watching you. What the? A sleeper. Oh. Another sleeper. They watch you with lit irises. One's just like yours. Their torn face reveals no emotion. They pose crouched, quailed even, like a spring ready to strike. You're both frozen, unsure, afraid. Nothing moves. Your eyes trace the damage to their suit, to their body. They look broken, worn down, and you wonder if this is how you look to others. If they flinch when they see you, as you feel the need to now. Carmen, Sander's panicked voice cuts through the silence, rushes forward to the floating body, and as he does, the other sleeper pulls away from the wall, like a statue coming to life. For a moment, you go to intervene to save Sander from the skeletal figure, but the sleeper falls on Sander to embrace him, and Sander returns the hug. You float, stunned, watching as Sander begins to carry Carmen's body from the cave with Flint, the sleeper, guiding him. We found the right path on the first try. Easy. Carmen is stable. Candace comes out from the room that has become a makeshift med bay. She looks between you and Seraphim. Thanks to you. And Flint? Candace pauses, choosing her answer carefully. Flint is in there with Carmen. They seem to be functional. She looks away. And that's what you mean? We should head back to Oliveira. Seraphim cuts in, places a hand on your shoulder, and steers you away towards the cockpit. Once you are out of earshot, Seraphim turns to you. Did you know Flint was a sleeper? No. Seraphim nods. He pauses. I don't want to be suspicious. I was just surprised, that's all. Seraphim glances back towards the medbay. They look different. Different how? Seraphim sighs, unsure of his words. Just never seen a sleeper like that. He looks away. I'll go get her started up. He pats you on the shoulder and heads to the cockpit. Let's just keep an eye on them, okay? He leaves you, floating in the corridor, unsure what to think. Flint is the first sleeper you have met since you escaped the program, and at this point, those memories are little more than fragments and fictions. As the rumble of the drive runs through the ship, you can't help but feel a little concerned for what this might mean. Okay, we're done. Let's leave. You are left alone with Sander and Seraphim in the docks while Carmen is carefully carried from the rig by Flint, guided away into one of Oliveira's many tunnels and passages. Okay, I believe you, Sander shrugs his shoulders. Seraphim raises an eyebrow. Believe us how? That you aren't saboteurs, he shoots you a sheepish grin, although you never know. Honestly, I've forgotten about that. I won't remind you then, he winks. Tell me, kid, Seraphim folds his arms. Why are you so protective of this place? I mean, no offense, but you'd want us to sabotage a tin pot colony in the middle of the shoals? Oh yeah, but who'd want to sabotage? Sander bristles at the comment but controls his anger. You don't get it. Oliveira is her refuge. Why do you think we're hiding all the way out here? He glances at you and then back at Seraphim. I would have thought you'd understand what's at stake here. You've seen Flint. Seraphim pauses, unsure of how to respond. He looks embarrassed into silence. Look, Sander says, playing the peacemaker. You brought Carmen back to us. Everyone in Oliveira will thank you for that. How about you stick around for a bit, get the feeling of the place. If you need to resupply, we can help. We haven't got much, but if you chip in, you'll get your share. He bows his head a little. We're more welcoming than we appear. Just don't expect to buy anything with those chits of yours. Sander puts his hand on his hips. Oliveira is not for sale. Seraphim shrugs. Alright, kid, He glances at you. We appreciate it. We need to hang around until Carmen is back up and awake. Anyway, I think we'll be good for the rest. I'll see you around then. Sander touches his brow in a salute and then kicks away, floating away of the docks. Seraphim turns to you. A little shore leave doesn't sound so bad. We need to speak to Carmen. For sure, he stretches. Carmen isn't going anywhere. We got time. He winks and glides away into Oliveira proper. You are left floating in the docks, unsure what comes next. It doesn't seem like Lane is going to find you out here, so maybe this is the perfect time to take a breather. At least until you can bring Nikita's drive to Carmen. You turn that little thumbnail drive over in your pocket. Time to see what Oliveira has to offer. Oh shit. Okay, so that's the rig. What's this? Oh, Oliveira Clinic. Rising tensions. Carmen is in recovery. Oliveira will have to navigate a coming crisis without a steady hand. Oh shit. As you leave the rig, you find a figure waiting for you in the docking tunnel. Think of Sander's hostile greeting when you first arrived. Is that him again? Oh, it's Flint. Where are you headed? Flint leans away from the wall, now out of the battered suit you first saw them. Damage to their frame is concealed beneath their overalls, but you're still aware of it, just beneath the surface. I mean, I don't know. I just literally was looking at the clinic. I don't know. Scrap sorting? Same. Flint nods in the direction of the colony. I'll join you. Float together through the docks in silence. Flint makes you nervous, and their insistence on intercepting you this cycle hasn't exactly calmed that sensation. Breaking the silence eventually becomes unavoidable. How did you end up here? Flint stares ahead, controlling their glide. Same as everyone else on the live in Oliveira. Carmen found me. The mention of Carmen's name recalls the image of him floating unconscious in the light of your work lamps in those deep and winding caves. You suppress a shudder. Flint gives you a sideways look, their mask-like face betraying no emotion. It's good you found us. They pause as you both move through a doorway. Could have been sooner, they blink, but better than nothing. Hey, look, I literally didn't even go to a different path. We went straight to you, okay? Like, come on. Looking at Flint gives you an unsettling feeling, like catching your own reflection in a polished hall. Is this what others feel like when they speak with you? Watching the crooked mask, the lit irises for signs of human emotion, interpreting the stuttering emulations of facial expressions as they cross your doll-like face. Flint turns away again, and you realize that they might feel the same looking at you, each the other's mirror, each reminding the other of the gap between being and being seen. What happened out there? Flint pauses. I made a mistake, one I won't make again. They frown and stare forward, offering nothing more. We arrive together into the cavernous hall containing the scrap silos, the cacophonous echoing of some sorting already filling the air. So, sleeper. Flint's face curls in amusement as he uses the mononyth everyone refers to you by. Oliveira asks all of those it harbors to contribute to the colony. Show me what you can do. Well, good thing I'm an engineer, so this is an easy pass. You and Flint glide into the sorting bay, where scrap from the silos is delivered to the waiting workers, ready to be checked, cleaned, and cast into the different nets at the fringes of the space. You find a sorting station, begin picking up chunks of ship and machine, putting them over in your hands. As you inspect the scrap, the ghost of their original place in a bigger structure becomes apparent. Each piece suggests a hole, a drive casing, a loading bay, a life support unit. You burn away corrosion with a torch, crack open rusted casings to release the components inside like seeds. You find new life in the broken and discarded pieces. Something makes you look to one side, a glint that catches your eye, and there's Flint taking a rest of their own. You see a glint again, Flint turning something over in their fingers, watching it spin. Vial stabilizer. My last vial. Flint speaks without taking their eyes off the drug. Even through the haze of your lost memories, you can recall the fizzing, sickening pulse of that induction, the dependence your reboot freed from you. Saving it for a special occasion, Flint pockets the vial and meets your eye. You don't need a stabilizer, do you? Flint moves away from the wall they were resting again. I noticed you were different from the first moment we met, but I didn't realize what it was until now. The way you work, the way you move, without dependence. I can see it now. Flint folds their arms. Maybe I'll tell them about the reboot. Tell them about the process you and Seraphine attempted on Darkseid, the one that Lane interrupted. They listen absent-mindedly, watching the workers instead of you. That's not all, though, is it? Flint meets your eye. There's something wrong with you, more than just your decaying fray, your signal, your presence. It smells different. I'm changing. Flint looks you up and down. I can see that, but I wonder what you are changing into. I know who I am, what I bring to this place. All of these people are at risk because of me. They look out at the workers. That means you too are a risk to your crew, to me, and more importantly, to this place. Oliveira will welcome you just as it welcomed me, Flint stretches, and it will do so in spite of itself and its own safety. I want you to know that, because they will pay the cost, those close to you, and you must know that they pay it for you. With that, Flint turns and glides away, leaving no space for a response. You watch them leave, their bellowing cloak revealing and concealing the glinting and ragged parts of their exposed skeleton as they go. Interesting. Scrap silos, component hunt. Oliveira scrappers are happy for you to search the scrap silos for components for your own use, but they won't be easy to find. Arm stacks. Supply gathering. Oliveira colonists allow you to gather supplies, but you have to harvest, pack, process them yourself, which can be exhausting. Oliveira canteen. Canteen visit. Oliveira has an open canteen where Candace prepares the colony's produce. You tend to get served based on how well liked you are. A hydro refinery. Fuel extraction. You're permitted to extract fuel for your own use, but you have to oversee the complex automated process yourself. Considering we do need fuel. I don't know how much fuel. We got 10 fuel. I'm sure we can get some supplies as well. Okay. First we gotta feed the cat once again. And cycle. Oh, I forgot to repair the die. Shit, I forgot. The sound of raised voices echoed through the tunnel. Following them, you find yourself at the entrance to the clinic, where Flint and Sander are locked in a bitter argument. I won't take you up there, Flint. Sander is pleading with the sleeper. Look what happened to Carmen. They'll kill you. What happened to Carmen is exactly why I have to go. They will find me here, and when that happens, the whole colony can hear you too. Seraphin comes out of the clinic with Kansas. Trying to wake up Carmen? You see Seraphin clock at you, standing in the passageway. Your eyes meet, and Seraphin looks away. Neither of you have seen each other since you brought Carmen back to Oliveira. I'm trying to make sure what happened to Carmen doesn't happen to anyone. Flint folds their arm. I'm the reason he is like he is, and that means it's on me to fix it. What are you talking about? You catch Flint off guard. They haven't seen you waiting in the passageway. S and ARP came for me, and that's what happened out in the debris field. They look down. You know what that means. Yeah, S and ARP. The company that created you, the company you escaped. The idea that I'm bearing down on this place sets your nerves on edge. You have long since slipped their grasp. Lane disabled your tracker in exchange for unwavering service, a gift that became a trap. But Flint is still on the run, and if S and ARP attacked Carmen's ship, he can't be far away. They look at Flint and see the fear in their eyes. The tracker is still active. Oliveira is shrouded. Flint looks towards the center of the colony. Carmen managed to get hold of a signal shroud and set it up here. He wanted to keep everyone safe. There's no way SNR can track me here. Am I missing something? Seraphin interrupts. I can't find you here. What's the problem? It's not just about the tracker. That hunter found me in the debris field. They know I escaped. It's only a matter of time before their search brings them here. Silence falls on the group as the inevitability of the problem sets in. Sander looks distraught. You can't, Flint, Sander says in a quiet voice. They'll kill you. Seraphin glances at you and Flint in turn, and you see his mind working on a solution. He looks away, frowning. I'm sorry, Sander. This is how it is. Flint looks dejected. Unless we get them first, Seraphin smiles an impish smile. Seraphin, what are you thinking? Candace speaks up for the first time. We know there's a hunter out there scouring the shoals, and we know they are looking for you, Flint. Seraphin shrugs. That means we have the upper hand. We don't need to bring them here. We can bring them anywhere we want. Seraphin looks around at the group. So we get set, we prepare a little surprise, and then we wait. Flint is already shaking their head. The hunter could arrive here at any moment. We don't have time for this. If I had a ship, I would have left already. Now we move you now. We can take you somewhere we can prepare and work hard and fast to get an ambush set. When the hunter comes, Seraphin grins, we spring the trap. What kind of trap? That, we still have to figure it out. We still have to figure out, Seraphin admits. But you have to admit, it beats going out to die without a plan. He shoots Flint a look, and hey, if we fail, the outcome will be the same anyway. Flint doesn't respond immediately. You can see them thinking it through, considering their options. I'm coming, Sander has a determined look on his face. We're doing this, and I'm coming. Look, kid, I meant your enthusiasm, but this is the real thing. A bounty hunter is not going to. Stop patronizing me, Sander cuts him off. I know the shoals, you need me out there. Conversation suddenly devolves into many small arguments. The location, who should go, how to approach the ambush, the noise grows. The old Solheim manufactory, Dennis's voice rises clear and precise through the noise. That's where you do it. It's on a rock far enough from here, and it's a real labyrinth. You can lead the hunter there and get them lost inside. Kansas's eyes are bright and determined. The place is full of old machines, ordnance. We've been afraid to scavenge any of it. It's so unstable. No Seraphin watching Candace speak, clearly impressed by the sudden shift towards decisive action. We could bring the whole place down on their heads. Sander picks up Candace's thread. I know the manufactory is a good idea. You look between those gathered. Seraphin, stubborn and protective. Candace's sharp eyes. Sander's relentless desire to get involved. And Flint, a sleeper like you. A sleeper in need of escape. Oh, of an escape. Carmen is building something here, a shrouded haven, a place that needs protecting. You may be unconscious behind those doors. floating amongst the wires and tubes of the clinic. Something of him is here, in this group, making a plan of resistance. Flint's eyes meet yours, and you know what has to be done. The rig will leave Oliveira the cycle. You have a hunter to trap. Time-sensitive contract active. Okay. Let's just use all our energy, I guess. Let's prepare the dive before we go, by the way. Prepare our dive. And please be positive. Well, it's repaired. King cat. Got a little bit more supply. Okay. Let's go. Select crew. Look at our full crew. We got like the whole roster. Well, we're setting up with like a booby trap, right? I think cadet would be good for that. And what does this tree mean again? I forget what the diamond means. Sure, whatever. We'll take this. I've never taken her before. I don't know if she'll be useful. Hopefully, we pray. Corroded plates, twisted struts, scattered scrap. The manufactory makes for a familiar sight. Just one more ragged artifact from the corporation that once owned this system. Despite that, something about it sets you on edge. Perhaps because it also will form the crucible for your attempt to take on an essence ARP hunter, the kind whose entire job is to bring in escaped sleepers like you, dead or alive. The rig is tucked behind a rock, running on low power with its transponder off. You hope that's enough not to draw attention. So, talk us through it. Seraphin turns back to Flint, Kansas, and Sander, all of whom are crammed into the cockpit along with your crew. We have to make this place look like a colony. That is what the hunter will expect. Anna suggests first, her voice quavering a little with anxiety. We can seal up some of the holes, maybe install some lighting, fake it up. Okay, Seraphin nods reassuringly. That's good, what then? We force them to go deep. Sander cuts in and everyone looks at him. He pauses, a little intimidated by the attention, but Flint nods at him to continue. I've been out here before on a salvage run. There's an assembly line that runs through the whole place, filled with old manufacturing machines. We seal doors, activate machines, making a maze of malfunctioning construction arms and dead ends. Alright then, control the route. I like it. Seraphin smiles at Sander. And if we get lucky, maybe one of those old machines will do the job for us. I doubt it. Flint chimes in. We'll need the ordnance from the silos, mining charges, fuel, whatever is left from when this place was churning out Solheim goods, they fear the Browns. You blow the place to make sure. A silence passes through the cockpit, the danger of what you are about to attempt dawning on everyone present. Okay, Seraphin has a dark look. That's the plan. We can detonate the ordnance with a command from the rig, a simple wideband comm signal. We'll get them. Seraphin pats Flint on the shoulder. Once they go in, the hunter isn't going to come back out. He turns to you. Anything we missed? Oh, they don't take the bait. Will the trap be obvious? Are we really going to blow it up? Will the trap be obvious? I don't think it matters. Candace cuts in. If they know Flint is in there, the hunter will take the risk, right? Right, Seraphin confirms grimly. How long do we think we have? There's a lot of factory down there. The hunter got to me and Carmen fast. Flint looks out of the cockpit. No more than 3 cycles. When the hunter came for us, Flint grimaces, remembering the attack on Carmen's ship. He came out of nowhere, hit us hard and fast. It wasn't for Carmen. We need you to be ready for anything. Flint looks at you. They won't be a warning. Different size. Nice pep talk. Flint, you better find somewhere deep in that place, down in the bedrock. But make sure it has a back door, okay? He nods at the sleeper. The rest of us get to work. Alright, you heard Flint. We do this and we do it right. We make our stand on this rock. Let's not waste a moment more. Oh shit, okay. We're gonna save this other sleeper. The rig. So factory dock, so we have 3 cycles. Hunter's arrival. The hunter is surely honing in on Flint's single. In a few cycles, they'll be here and you must be ready to face them. A 3-part plan. To be sure you can face the hunter, all 3 parts of the plan must be ready by the time that they arrive. Okay, storage silos. Prime explosives. There are a few things more dangerous than rigging up expired mining charges in fuel tanks. Carefully does it. Gather ordnance. Mining explosives, emergency breach charge. There's a lot of old ordnance down there. If it can be gathered and identified. Execution. To end the hunter, you need to set up the old mining ordnance left at the site and bring the whole facility down. So much we have to do. We have to do this all in 3 cycles too. Assembly line. Pack machines. One way to drive the hunter deeper into the factory will be to activate the old factory machines, closing off roads and presenting it to the threat. Sabotage doors. The massive bulkhead doors in the main factory require a direct approach if you want to funnel the hunter down a trap. Factory exterior. Seal exterior. The shell of the manufactory is full of holes. Make it look like a colony and needs sealing up, and fast. Disguise exterior. The old Solheim manufactory is a ruin. Against the hunter, you'll need to add lights, paints, signs, all the signatures of a working colony. Enticement. To be sure the hunter will enter the facility, you make it look like the site of an operational colony. Okay, well, I think we do this one first. Oh, you're into it. Okay, you get +1. I don't have to be a negative unless other than stress. We'll do this one because it's danger, so I think we get better. Actually, it's the exact same. All these days suck, by the way. We'll try. 25, 50, 25. We gotta use all our dice because we only have 3 days to do this. Actually, that's not helpful for this particular door. Assembly line, maybe? Interface, okay, engage. You can do this one. Oh, yeah, a little bit of stress. Neutral. It is a danger option. Okay. Okay. And cycle. Okay, let's do the front. Please, 2 positives would be quite nice. Ah, shit, neutral. We'll use the 3 dice here. Okay, there we go. The exterior is complete. You know, Kansas' voice comes over the comms, shimmering with interference. From here, it doesn't look half bad. Look across the shell of the manufactory, now studded with lights and dotted with markings, the fresh welds and plates giving the whole place a fragile patchwork feeling. If I was a piece of shit hunter, this is what I think a normal person's settlement will look like, right? We better hope so. Candace goes quiet for a moment, her attempt at humor only serving to remind you both of the desperate circumstances. Have you spoken to Flint? Candace pauses. I mean, really spoken? Why? Oh, Candace stumbles over her words. I just thought you two might want to speak about. She trails off. Flint is very loyal. I know they are quiet and, well, intense, but she sighs. I just hope you two can find some common ground. We get on just fine. Of course. Sorry. Candace stops again. Olivera is her refuge. Candace takes a breath. For all of us, I was in trouble when I met Carmen. We all were, in one way or another. Seraphin has told me a lot about you. Candace hesitates, and I can see what you are trying to do for Flint, for Oliveira. I'll just let her finish. I appreciate it, and I know Sander does, and Carmen will do as well. And Flint, Candace pauses. Well, you'll see. Comms click off, returning you to the silence of the manufactory. You look out across the false colony at the glittering lights. They are a poor imitation of Oliveira's real lights, those that indicate the colony's fragile, delicate state. You shake it off and move on. This isn't over yet. Okay, we have this one. You can do engage, perfect. We actually got 2 5s on Cadet, so she's getting a bit stressed though. She's at 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6 now. And next part's complete. You float for a moment, observing the chaos of the old assembly line. The scale of the structure, the number of machines, the arms and fabricators, the welders and bolters suggests industry on a scale that you have never witnessed. The Helion system, a system that now subsits on the leftovers of its built corporate owners, was once filled with manufactories like this, churning out components and technologies, machines and resources for extracting the valuable materials and minerals that Solheim existed to amass. If someone was able to rebuild one of these places, put it back into operation, imagine what could be fed into the belt, what changes could come for its people. Yet, no one will undertake such a task because this place is haunted by the specter of Solheim, an entity that every being in the system can trace their origins back to, an entity that turned the entire system into a manufactory machine for accumulation, and that did not distinguish between human and machines as it did. You look at the broken machines, worn down and rusted, crippled and bent. Some of them have been put back into use this past cycle as part of your plan, and those jerk or turn randomly, blindly groping for components that will never be fed to them. None of them are sentient machines like you, and so they cannot feel or think, and yet you cannot decide if for them to persist is a kind of cruelty that radiates for the system that created them, or the indication of a new life, one that grants them new function, new meaning, and the possibility of something more. Creepy, right? Sander floats beside you, his voice hissing through the close-range comms. Maybe the hunter will get spooked by those twitching arms. He imitates the scattered movements of the factory machines. I'd say more sad than creepy. Sander shrugs. If you say so. So, Sander gives you a look. How come this hunter isn't tracking me? My tracker's isn't chasing you. My tracker's deactivated, huh? Sander shoots you a look. Lucky you, who did that? It doesn't matter. Maybe not to you, but it could change everything for Flint. I mean, I can't deactivate Flint's. Sure, Sander looks down. You know, maybe once we are done here, we need your eyes. They need your help. Sander looks out at the assembly line and sighs. I like Flint. Happy to do this for them. He turns back to you. And I want to like you too. Don't mess this up, alright? Sander gives you a hard look. Don't let Flint down. Sander kicks off and glides towards the exit without waiting for a response. You watch him go for a moment before turning away. There's still so much to do. Well, got 1 die left. Or 2 dice. 2 dice. We're just gonna do a push on this die. Okay. And we're out of dice for this time. And cycle. This is our last chance, by the way, because he's gonna come next one. Unfortunately, you're useless here. You're not useless here, though. Just getting stressed. Unfortunately, I low rolled hard. Doesn't matter if you're stressed out here, it's fine. Yeah, okay. Fortunately, you're negative on both of them, but we gotta just try. Nice, okay. You got it. Go eat. There we go. Achievement. Set a 3-stage trap for the hunter. Memories of Maywick. Go easy with that. Flint's voice rumbles over local comms as you secure the final piece of ordnance. You turn to see them floating, backlit, in the entrance to the bay. One of many that you have rigged with ordnance deep in the manufactory. Down here, dust and flecks of rust float through the beams of your light, and the walls are bent and buckled. They spent the past cycles here, picking out a spot to draw the hunter down to, one they should be able to slip out of when the hunter finds their way in. It's a long time to be down in these dark tunnels, waiting. Looks like we are just about to be done. Their voice is flat, their tone pretty target. You okay? Flint nods, eager to be done with this. They look over their shoulder, however it plays out. Flint glides into the bay slowly. There's something I need to tell you, something I think you'll understand. What we are doing out here is not about saving me, it's about Oliveira. You struggle to see Flint's face with the light behind them. I should be on a ship out of there, leading this hunter away, but they won't let me do that. They shake their head in frustration. And even if they would, they can't spare the ship. Not after Carmen's got shot up. That was my mistake. I never should have let him persuade me to come with him on that supply run. Flint looks down. What's done is done. What matters now, what I need from you, is a promise, Flint's bright irises flash, that you'll bring this place down with me in it, if it means stopping the hunter. Shit. What do I do? Bring this place down to stop the, what? Yeah, but if fine, you know what? I will promise. Flint nods. I knew you'd understand. You know as well as I that those who get close to us are at risk, that we, as sleepers, have to recognize what we open the door to. Carmen is my fault, I won't be Oliveira's downfall too. With that, they turn and leave you in the dark. Well, everything's done. Hunter's arrival will be here next day. Okay, let's just harvest some mushrooms then, shall we? Yeah, we got energy, which doesn't really matter. There we go. Now we get supplies. Okay, let's end cycle. He's here, the hunter. Wake up, sleeper. Seraphim is in the bunks. We've got incoming. You shake off the haze of forgotten dreams and get up. At moments, you are in the cockpit. Sander, Candace, and Seraphim all gathered around the console. On it, the local view shows nothing, not a single ship signal, and few objects beyond a scattering of debris. It was right here, I swear, Seraphim jabs the screen. A ship, small, but definitely a ship. Seraphim, Candace sighs, we've all been up a while, get some rest. I know what I saw, he catches her eye. You look at the screen, its gridded view showing the scattered signature of debris, like schools of fish drifting in a soft current. The manufactory is a noisy blob at the center of the circle, one that dissolves into the background at its edges, nothing. And then there it is, a flicker, a flash, a spark of movement and light among one of the debris clouds. It flares and then it is gone. You look up and Seraphim meets your eyes. He reads your expression immediately. Seraphim slams a hand down on the console, opening up the comms channel. Look alive, Flint, they're coming in. Go deep and be ready to run. He pulls his hand off the switch. Better hope they heard that. Then you see it through the cockpit glass. the flare of an engine, faint and masked, but driving a squat, dark ship out of the debris, the Hunter. The ship seems to idle, a little near the manufacturer's asteroid, drifting past the dressed-up shell of the old facility. Time to see if our fake colony is convincing enough. Janice nervously claps her hands together. Will they buy it? They better. Seraphim looks concerned. Because if they think this place looks abandoned, the Hunter might strafe the whole facility. Seraphim swallows hard. We need them to dock, to come inside. Look at the ship, and as you do, it jumps forward towards the docking tower. You watch for a few tense moments as it hesitates and then slides into position onto one of the docking bridges. Candace sighs in relief. They went for it. Darren pats you on the shoulder. Good job, the rat is in the maze. We can track them now, he exhales. At least that's the theory. I hooked up some basic monitoring devices in the assembly line, Sander calls over from another console. A few shitty cameras repurposed from the factory monitoring systems. Not much, but hopefully enough to tell us where they are at. Candace, Seraphine, and you crowd around the screen. Sander flicks between noisy black and white images and feeds of static. You squint into the fizzing dark, trying to pick out any detail. Then suddenly you see them. Oh shit. A shadow drifting beneath a flickering light. Dark clad in military gear, a long gun held ready at their shoulder, deathly pale skin, and in their eyes, gleaming through the faceplate, glowing irises. Who the hell's that? Seraphim pulls back from the screen. They look like a sleeper. Tanner finishes Seraphin's sentence. The figure disappears outside the margins of the frame, and Tanner flicks through the feeds. Where'd they go? You drift back from the screen, trying to think straight. The Hunter is a sleeper or something else. You replay the image of the figure in your mind, but it has already shifted in your memory. It is your face staring back. It is Flint's. It is the sleeper's mask of death. Sleeper, Seraphim grabs you by both shoulders and looks you in the eye. We need you to focus. We should get down there. Seraphim's eyes are wide. Think this changes things. No, this changes nothing. Seraphim nods. We'll wait for Flint's signal. We hold here. The ordinance is in place. How does it change that he's a sleeper? Who cares? He's still trying to kill him. Seraphim looks at you for reassurance. The moment we get the signal, we blow it. You think of the mining charges rigged in daisy chains, a fuel barrel splashed to detonators, the command code ready to transmit from the rig. Seraphim sees the determination in your eyes. We hold. So you wait, against his eyes on the manufactory below. Sander tapping at the glass, Seraphim perched by the console, listening for the signal. Then you hear it, the hiss of an opening comms channel. You look to Seraphim and he hears it too, a static haze that fills the cockpit. You all go still. Seraphim nods towards an indicator on the console. It's Flint's channel. A click, a scrape, a scrape, then silence. Seraphim frowns, tapping at the consoles. What? He scrolls. Flint's transceiver is gone. It's dead. Panic hits the cockpit. Sander gliding over to the console. Candace going pale. Sleeper. Seraphim turns and looks back over his shoulders towards you. We need to go in. Go. Candace looks between you. Seraphim and Sander with a steely expression. I'll stay here. She glances nervously at the console. Give me the signal and I'll send the detonation signal. She swallows hard if it works. Seraphim looks torn for a moment, then nods. Let's go. Rush down to the airlock and suit up with the others, then you are out, descending through the rock-strewn void in tense silence. You enter the manufactory through a gap in the frame, passing through layers of twisted facilities, into the deep parts where you know Flint waits in the dark. You say nothing to each other, afraid the comms will be intercepted. You lead Sander and Seraphim on, and seeking the deep bays under the silos where you began setting up the ordnance. Though unfinished, perhaps there's enough down there for this to work. If not, Seraphim's hand falls on your shoulder, pulling you back. You go to speak and then you see a torch beam lacing through the dark. The Hunter, as you saw them on the grainy footage of Sander's camera, but real now, just below, a long gun held ready at their shoulder, pushing through the dark and broken layers of the facility, seeking Flint. Seraphim, Sander, and you exchange wide-eyed, glancing in silence. The Hunter passes below, disappearing into a dark passage. You wait together, the moment stretching out, Then just head down into the same passage. The silence is absolute. Suddenly, there's a flash of light ahead, bright and forceful, and a rumble that shakes rust flakes from the wall. Tanner pushes off hard, launching past you into the dark. Seraphim goes too, and you instinctively glide forward as another rumble shakes the foundations of the facility. You come into a low bay scattered with glowing embers. Scorched holes in the wall spew drops of red-hot metal where a weapon has been discharged. The hunter floats at the center, taking aim again, and you see a flicker of movement on the far side. Flint retreating. Before you can act, a slight figure in a suit slams into the back of the hunter. Sander, as he hits, the hunter's gun spins out of their hands. I'll grab the gun. You kick off away from Sander and the hunter as they grapple together, spinning in the dark toward the deep shaft at the far side of the bay. You spot a shape of the long gun as it spins ahead of you. As you reach it, your hand locking around the sculpted grip. You spin and raise it. You take a moment to steady your aim. The scorching shot grazes the side of the hunter's suit in a flurry of sparks. They are thrown away from Xander, unable to find anything to slow their glide. The hunter disappears into the dark of the shaft, leaving a trail of embers in the dark. You see fear in Sander's eyes as they turn back to you. The muzzle of the gun smokes. Glowing red, it is spent. I've got Flint. The Seraphim calls over local comms. We ascend now. You look across the two of them, kicking off from the floor of the bay towards a ragged hole in the ceiling. You and Sander exchange a single glance, then follow. Candace, Seraphim is on the Y band. Detonates this place now. Send the command. There's silence. You send through the layers of the manufactory, seeking the open void of space beyond. You clear the manufactory, gliding into open space. A silent shockwave, like a gust of wind, runs through the void. The silent rumble spits out a scatter of debris. Turn back, still gliding towards the ship, and see the shattered manufactory. Whole sections are bending outward, the framework shredded, plating tumbling away in shards. Look across at Seraphim and Flint, their eyes set on the ship, trying only to stay ahead of the debris. You do the same, fixing your attention on the rig and nothing else. The hunter is dead. Let's leave. Goodbye. You limp back to Oliveira, the mood in the rig one of deep exhaustion. As the colony appears, visible from the cockpit, the satisfaction of having run a terrifying gauntlet and come back in one piece shifts the mood. The crew's improved mood only becomes more obvious as you draw closer to Oliveira. As you come into dock with the colony, you feel a wave of relief. Seraphim pats you on the shoulder as you both wait for the airlock to open. At a hunter, he sighs. Assenarp is crueler than I could have imagined. It doesn't surprise me. It's a nasty logic. Send a sleeper to catch a sleeper, Seraphim shakes his head. I'm glad we bought Flint some freedom. Airlock hisses open, revealing the docking bridge where Sander first confronted you. This time, another, more substantial figure waits in the passage. I heard you're the one I should be thanking for saving my life. Carmen leans against the side of the tunnel, one arm clamped against his waist. So, thank you, he nods at the two of you. There he goes, did he lose an eye from that? Rip. Happy to help, Carmen smiles. I have a feeling there might be more to your arrival than just a friendly traveler offering a helping hand. Carmen, Candace rushes past the two of you, gliding into Carmen with an embrace strong enough to leave the injured man off balance. Alright, careful, you don't want to put me back in the med bay now, do you? Carmen pushes Candace back with a gentle grip on her shoulders. He flinches as he does, his joy clearly holding some truth. Sorry, Candace smiles, just gonna have to see you up. A frown crosses Carmen's face. Where's Sander? You losing your vision, old man? You look back to see Sander and Flint behind you in the tunnel. Sander smiles wildly at Carmen, betraying his happiness to see him. I'll be fine, Zan. Carmen's voice are confident, but his tone suggests he isn't convinced. Oh. You notice his hands are tightly balled into fists, half of resisting pain, and wonder if he should really be up at all. Carmen turns to look at you and Seraphim. I think we need to talk. How about you two and Flint accompany me to the med bay? Carmen winks. Flint pushes past you both and goes to Carmen, helping him out at the tunnel. As he does, they exchange a few words. You are too far away to make them out. You and Seraphim exchange glances and follow behind them into Oliveira. Carmen leads you to a small recovery chamber in the med bay, where his bed is set up. A handful of tubes and wires float gently beside it, attaches to proxy devices. Flint has already left the group, leaving just you and Seraphim with Oliveira's injured father. Carmen meets your eye with a hard look. So how did you two end up stumbling on our colony in the shoals? He raises an eyebrow. Because we're not usually open to visitors. And Ankita sent us to you. You see the flicker of recognition in Carmen's eyes when you mention Ankita. You produce the thumbnail drive, holding it out for Carmen to inspect. She told Sleeper to deliver this to you and you alone. Seraphim folds his arms. Carmen pauses thoughtfully. That's a name I have not heard for a while. He takes the drive. It seems I should thank you again, he sighs, and perhaps I owe you some explanation myself. Ankita and I used to work together a lifetime ago. Carmen shakes his head. We went our separate ways, but then she turned back up in Oliveira. I established this colony as a refuge, a way of starting again. Carmen clasps his hands together. The belt is changing, and I am afraid of what is coming. Ankita took refuge here for a short while. Then one cycle, she was gone. Carmen shrugs. That's not unusual for her. Each of us have our own demons. He holds up the drive. I'll take a look at what's on here when I'm able. He looks at the drive with concern. And I'll let you know what I find. You and Seraphim thank him and leave the chamber as he settles back on his recovery bed. As you leave, Flint catches your attention. Can we speak? Cameron pauses. I'll catch you back on the rig. He looks between the two of you and then glides away. Flint hovers, a look of concern on his mask-like face. Now what do you need? Flint gives you a curious look. You don't remember any of it, do you? Any of what? Of how you got here, of your history. Flint screws up their face in a pained expression. At first, I thought you were hiding something or were intentionally avoiding the subject, so I waited, but I understand it now. You don't remember me at all. Huh? Wait a minute, what? I'm supposed to know you? I don't recognize him at all. Take a moment to think, to try to recall Flint. You furrow your brow in frustration, sitting through hazy memories of Darkside, farther back of your arrival to the belt. Close your eyes and see the faces of other sleepers, panicked, desperate, in darkness. I don't remember. We worked together in the same Essen Art mining installation, along with the other sleepers. He searches your eyes for a spark of recognition. You weren't close. I'm not sure we really spoke. Very few of us did. But I was there when we planned the escape together. A run to the freighter, collapsing the mine shaft. Flint stops, struggling to continue in the face of the blank look you are giving them. You feel an unpleasant itch, as if something is crawling around inside your skull. You can see that Flint wants you to recall them, to recall the escape, the installation, but you only find hazy sensations, and beneath them, pain. I'm sorry, I don't mean to. Flint looks down. I know you can't help it. I just needed to say something, to know if you really don't remember. Thank you for everything you've done for me and for Oliveira. Flint turns and drifts away dejectedly, unable to continue. As you watch Flint go, you scratch at the side of your head, trying to find something in the way they move, the way they speak, their mask-like face. A face that was identical to yours when it was first cast, but that, over cycle after cycle of wear and damage, has been transformed. Two machines so close in form and function, estranged by experience. So we need to wait 2 cycles for Carmen to recover. Okay. Well, we're here, let's refuel on this, I guess. No, I don't think we really need fuel, I meant this. Supplies. Feed the cat. And I don't know, see if we can get fuel. It's fine. Let's end the cycle. Thanks for coming up, sleeper. Carmen is waiting for you and Seraphim when you arrive at the med bay, looking a lot fresher. He leads you into a small alcove set up like an office, with an aging terminal on a simple welded desk and a small window looking out across the dusty rock of Oliveira. Got some news for us? Seraphim asks impatiently. You arrived back from manufactory. He has been restless, though you weren't sure why. Not to worry, Carmen grins slyly. I think you'll want to hear this. He hits a key on the terminal and a file browser appears on the screen, showing hundreds of individual pieces of data. Nikita has been busy. Carmen gestures to the screen. She's been scraping Utsubo communications cycle after cycle, got access to ciphers and encryptions that only the gang's leadership should be able to see. He smiles. It seems she's learned some tricks since we worked together. But that's not what matters. What matters is the content of these messages. He taps a few keys and loads some of the data. It scrolls down the screen. Some parts of Utsubo leadership have been getting ideas about taking Greenbelt and controlling food production in the belt, or exerting power over Wellspring, big ideas for a gang. But these Utsubo members aren't alone. They found themselves a powerful ally. Carmen shakes his head. Senate-Stat, oh shit. Senate-Stat, one of the two corporations fighting a bitter battle for control of the inner system. Pernicious Force, one that Utsubo are opening a door for in the belt. We can't be surprised, Seraphim cuts in. Can't be that stupid. I don't know what to tell you. At least someone inside Utsubo is trying to broker a partnership. Who? Seraphim leans over to look at the screen. You don't need Carmen's answer, and neither does Seraphim. Lane. Seraphim looks at you, shaking his head. It has to be Lane. Carmen looks between you both. Seems like you already know something I don't. Lane is a piece of shit Utsubo leader who thinks he owns us, Seraphim shakes his head. Exactly the kind of piece of shit arrogant enough to try to manipulate Senate-Stat. Carmen nods thoughtfully. My condolences. I'm starting to see how you cross paths with Ankita. We have a shared enemy then. Wait, why is Ankita telling you? Like I said, Ankita and I worked together. To put it simply, we ran in the same mercenary outfit. Carmen looks away. A lot has happened since then, but this message, this data, it's her calling in a favor. And I owe her, that's for sure. Carmen shakes his head and he pushes himself off from the desk, crossing the room to look out of the window at Oliveira's pale and airless surface. Hell, after what went down, I owe you both too. You look at Carmen, staring out the surface of this hostile rock and wonder what he sees out there. He establishes the colony as a fallback, a retreat, not just for him, for others too. But you get the feeling that Carmen knows any retreat is only ever temporarily. He turns back to look at you, and you, sleeper, what will you do? We'll take on Utsubo. Take on a gang? Carmen smiles. Are you sure about that? We are both going to end Lane, whatever it takes. Seraphim stares down Carmen, fist balled. Carmen looks at you. That one is going to get you in trouble, he turns to Seraphim. But I like that energy. He looks back out the window. This is not something we are going to take head on, he shakes his head. Nikita sent us our weapon. Carmen turns and gestures at the console screen with its reams of incriminating data. Utsubo don't control all of Darkseid. They only aspire to. They also claim to offer protection from the war between Senate-Stat and Conway. That presents us with an opportunity. Utsubo is full of members who'd rather die than get to see Darkseid to a corporate interest. If we play this right, Utsubo will end Lane for us. He smiles at Seraphim, to use your phrase. How do we do it? We can handle it. We've cracked Darkseid once. We can do it again. Seraphim's confidence is infectious. Is that right? Carmen seems to be thinking something through. He crosses to the console, back to the window, and then to the console once more. Alright, I'm gonna need some time, but I can put this together. Carmen nods at Seraphim. We'll need that energy, but you also need to be ready. We rush this, it's not ending well, so I can wait. Carmen turns his attention to you. We'll go from Greenbelt when you're ready. I have friends there who can help to get that ship of yours into Darkseid. Seraphim looks at you. We have our own preparations to make, but we'll be ready. Alright, Carmen unplugs Ankita's drive and hands it to you. Take this and get out of here. I don't want anyone finding this thing in my possession. You take it, the tiny drive somehow heavier now than you know, that you know it contains the key to Exposing Lane. See you in Greenbelt. I'll see you in the Wheat's Heath. Carmen smiles to himself. They know me there. Just understand something, Carmen's expression turned serious. You want my help on this? There's no way we can let it get back to the colony. Once you leave here, you're not coming back to Oliveira. Not until we are done. It meets your eye. He needs confirmation that you recognize the importance of this. I'll leave the cycle. Carmen nods. Good. He goes back to the window to stare at whatever it is he sees out there amongst the dusty rocks. When you come back to the rig, Flint is waiting for you, leaning by the docking tunnels with a bag over their shoulder. They look up as you approach. Hey. Flint nods a greeting, appearing a little unsure. Hey. I know you've already done a lot for me, so I'm not going to push you or ask for your pity. They pause. You feel like they have been preparing the speech. Firstly, I owe you, and I want to pay you back. I can work, and I can fight, and I can protect the ship and this crew with everything I have. Technically, we come from the same place, and whenever you remember it or not, it means something. It must. I know it's not the easiest to get on with. I know you might have your reservations about having another sleeper on the ship, but... That's enough. Flint stops immediately. Sorry. Look at Flint. Their frame's so much more damaged than yours, but with a fire burning in their eyes that makes them seem bigger than they are. You can comment. Whatever. A smile spreads across Flint's face, and they look down to hide it. Thank you, they say to the floor. This will work out. You see. Flint nods to you once more, and turns and glides down the docking tunnel towards the ship. As they do, two figures at the edge of the docking concourse catch your eye. You pause to look, shifting a little. As you do, you recognize Candace leaning in. Some words are exchanged, ones you can only guess at. Then the other figure embraces Candace and turns back to the ship. As Seraphin approaches, he ducks his head, passing quietly past you into the docking tunnels without a word. Take one last look at the docks, but Candace is gone. You idle a moment longer and feel that there's something, some presence, even in these empty bays. Something rare in all the belt that Oliveira has captured. But as with all things, you must learn to leave it behind. There we go, we got a 6th crew member. Flint. Recruited Flint to your crew. Okay, feed kitty. Harvest mushroom. Let's get some food at the canteen, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. I might lose energy. Actually got it. Okay, miracle. We're just gonna use it just because we have the dice. Okay, well. Actually got a negative outcome. I got 2 negative outcomes. You know what? We're not gonna use. Oh no. Okay, we'll just buy food when we get to... Actually not bad. Okay. Yeah, with that, I'm actually gonna end this part here, because this part's actually, I think, the longest part I'll record. I thought the game would be ending soon, so I was like, okay, I'll just keep going, but... Nope, a lot more of the game than I expected, which is fine, of course. Like, I'm still enjoying the story as is, but I do think next part will be the last part. But yeah, the map's cool. So yeah, we're gonna go to the green belt. Oh, we can't go to the green belt. First, we'll go to the hall, then the green belt. That's fine, but we'll do that in the next part. So, we got another sleeper, which is interesting. I don't know. Like, it's a little bit awkward. They're like, oh yeah, I know you. We don't know them. And it's like, oh, we got rid of the hunter. Yeah, it's a little bit ironic they have a sleeper be the hunter, but you know what? That's just how it is, I guess, sometimes. But man, we got a dark side. That was the whole situation, my gosh. With Marco, that part of him knew like, oh, if I get caught, I am gonna betray them. So he did have the intent to rat us out in the first place because he wanted to find someone. But don't think that's fully fair. But I guess I don't know who this someone is, you know. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts were of Darkseid and Kita, and now we're in Oliveira. We're leaving Oliveira. This will be like the last time we're here. And I hope to see you at the next episode.